No man did they call me, my mother and my father, and all my comrades as well. Hey, everybody, and welcome to my Friday live stream. Today, I am planning on discussing some upcoming projects. I'd like to get some feedback from you about what's been going on my channel recently. I wanted to chat a bit about the YouTube algorithm stuff that's been going on, mostly related to polls and premieres. Uh, I also want to do some normal Q&A stuff. Um, I would like to do some voice requests as well, so you can ask different characters different questions as well. You don't just have to ask No Man. And I also want to do some open discussion topics, things that you guys want to talk about. So there's a couple of things that if you decide to donate during the stream, if you decide to do a super chat, there's a couple things I want to be able to do. The first thing that I want to say is that this will guarantee that we will discuss a chosen topic, and we'll have some fun with that. So if you do a super chat and you pick a discussion topic, that's what we're going to be talking about. We will do that. I also want the stream to go on for a little bit longer than usual because I'm not going to be doing a character the entire time. So I should be able to do this for longer, and that will let some of my subscribers in different time zones get a chance to join us. And so far, we got some people. We got some people coming in here. How's everybody doing? All four people. That's okay. We will make fun. We will make fun. So yeah, I guess I'll go ahead and just sort of talk about some of the things that I wanted to start off with. So with regarding upcoming projects, I put up a poll a little bit ago talking about a couple different things to gauge, basically people's interests in them. I had the one that I started. Hey, Ron Demion, you are not late this time. Welcome. All right, now we got people. But yeah, I wanted to talk a little bit about the different series that I was thinking of starting. The one with the Iron Hands, which I've just started, which I think people have enjoyed so far. I'm happy with the response of that. I also want to do the AdMech story because I've had a bunch of requests for AdMech stories. Definitely want to do that. And I'm super excited about doing kind of a roguelike with rotating characters in the Snotling game, where you guys start off as a Snotling, and the odds are you're going to die a lot. And then as your orc tribe grows, you can pick different things to be. You can move up to being a grot, or maybe you guys want to be like a vicious squig. Eventually, you can be an orc boy, and kind of go from there. And I'm thinking that if you become an orc boy, you always have to start from the ground level and then fight your way up. You can't. I was thinking you're going to start off as something that pops out of the ground is kind of my idea for that one. All right, looks like we got some people in here now. Everyone's coming in. Last time is this early. Prospero still had a populace. You can get an F in the chat for Prospero, except for maybe from the Space Wolves. Last time didn't have a sword through your chest for the Emperor. The flesh is weak. No man, weak. Yes. All right, we got some people. The flesh is strong, for the Emperor's made of flesh. The Emperor's, I don't know, calling the Emperor made out of flesh now is awfully generous. Oh. So how's everybody doing? We got 16 people now. So I had said it early on, but we actually I kind of went through my introduction and we did not have very many people in here. But let me run down stuff I want to talk about. But I wanted to talk about upcoming projects. I wanted to get feedback from you from things that are going on, guys. I wanted to talk about YouTube algorithm stuff, which might be where I start because I'm a little annoyed with YouTube. There's also going to be some normal Q&A stuff. Like if you guys, do a super chat, it's a guaranteed I will answer a question that you ask. Though I will warn you, I'm not going to give away things that are going to happen in stories. So I don't want you to waste your money and be like, so what's going to happen with this person? I can't tell you. I can't do spoilers. So do not ask me questions that'll be spoilers. But I will focus on that. The other thing I'll do voice requests. So if you have questions for characters, I don't want to do like a several hour long stream where I'm doing character voices today. This is actually I'm kind of taking a break. This was a busy week for me, so just kind of talking with you guys is what I'm up for right now. But we'll do a bit of things where if you want to talk to Og or get Slaya or whoever, you can ask different questions. And the last thing is I want to do some open discussion topics where chat is just talking. And again, if you donate for a discussion topic, that we will discuss that topic. We will discuss and this is kind of like a general Warhammer things rather than something specifically about my series, but like, hey, let's talk about this. Let's talk about YouTube stuff. Let's talk about 40K stuff. Let's talk about whatever you guys are interested in talking about. All right, so let me take a look, see what we got for questions. I think I saw some. Hey, no man, really been enjoying your streams. Keep going, doing great. Thank you very much. Fattest Tuesday, doing pretty well. I'm glad you're doing well, Asher. Nurgle says his presence 2021 new quarantine. That's pretty true. People would pay for that. I'm trying to find. I'm honestly trying to find stuff for things to be worth people. I want people's super chats when they give them. I want them to be like to have value. I want people to get something cool out of it. That's why I've been doing like the in-character stuff. Where if you guys were donating, then I would like interact with you more in character and like, I thought it was a fun thing to do. Like that's what I want to do. Is I want to make, if people do super chats, I want to make it more fun. But you obviously don't have to if you want to hang out and have a fun time. Are you working in the last moment? Story uploading? Are you working in the last moment story uploading? Not following. How did I get into 40K? The first Dawn of War game. I had heard about 40K. I was sort of aware of it. People had sort of given me the rundown, and it did not seem appealing to me. It's like, it's super grim dark, and there's this thing, and there's the Emperor, and it was like way too much. And people who talked to me about 40K were that kind of nerd that just tell you everything, and you really don't care. But I played Dawn of War, and it's like, oh, I get it now. I get it now. Are you overseas right now? I always see that you post on Greenwich Mean Time. I don't want to tell people where I live. That's it. Like I really, really want my channel to be pretty anonymous. I don't want people to know where I live. I don't want people to know who I am. I don't want people to recognize me on the street for a number of reasons. I hear things that YouTube, like if my channel gets big, like right now it's pretty modest, but if it were to get like big, if something went nuts, I don't want to suddenly have to like be aware of my fans. Like that people might come up to me and talk to me if they knew who I was. So I'm just like trying to, and I have to decide to do that now, because if it never gets big, who cares? But I have to kind of protect myself now. But Greenwich Mean Time is kind of a standard. It's also I have a lot of overseas fans. I have a lot of non-US fans. I think it's a fair number of the people that are here for my streams because of the time that this happens in. I should pin a message in chat to let people know what the stream will be about for those who enter late. That sounds like a good idea. I have a list here that I'm gonna copy paste. Let's see if I can do that. What the heck is going on? Like, it's my Windows being stupid. It is not letting me type in chat. There we go. I don't know why that was so hard. Oop, wrong thing. I can't. That's so dumb. All right. Sorry, this is really kind of silly. No, I can't even do that. I can't even. I have to like make it shorter. It's too long. I'll format. I'll tell everyone what's going on when they come in. It's like but yeah, we'll kind of just keep people up what's going on right now, and I'll just keep people informed as they show up. But let's see. Do. How do I get to 46 GMT? So yeah, Mizi Ray Ray Nobis. I'm not gonna pin a thing. I'll just tell people what's going on. Well, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Are you able to just turn on and off the voices? Yeah, I can. It takes like a second for me to rearrange. Like, so if I were to go to talking now and then switch to AUG, like it takes me a second to get my vocal cords the way they want to be, but it doesn't take that long. Some voices take a little bit longer to like get into. Orcs I can snap into easy. I've done Orcs forever. Pretty much as soon as I heard War Boss Gorguts talk, I was like, oh, I can totally do that. Yeah, and then I just started talking like this all the time. And yeah, I can just snap in and out of it. Oh no. Oh yeah, people paying for spoilers. I don't think people pay for spoilers. I think people ask questions and don't realize that the thing they're asking are might be spoilers, or it's just like, hey, this thing. It's like, well, that's a thing that may happen in the future. I don't want to give it away. I don't want to confirm. I think it's most people don't know that. Let's see. When you began this video, did you ever see yourself becoming an impressionist? I kind of am. I could do a bunch of different things, but I don't like. I could do a bunch of standard impressions. I don't think I'm great at it. Like, there's a couple things I can do. Like, I have a really good Gollum voice. I can do that for you guys. It'll be fun. Master's filthy herbices. We'll kill them. That's I can do a bunch of different things, but I don't think it's very interesting to just do impressions of people. You kind of have to do something more interesting than that. I meant you did not give spoilers because you're finishing the stories, if not minutes before the uploads. No, I know what is. I generally have an outline of what's going to happen in a story, but yeah, I am writing, recording, and then uploading things pretty much as they happen. But I know what is ultimately going to happen in most of them. Some of the details might change a little bit as like the story develops and I decide something's better, but I generally know what is going to happen in my stories. Have I ever thought of voice acting professionally? I would if people were interested. I don't know if nobody's approached me and been like, "Hey, I like your moxie, kid. Do you wanna work as a voice actor?" Have not had that happen yet. Imagine if someone recognized you in the street by your voice now. I'd have a fairly undistinct voice. I don't think people would recognize me by my voice. Because they're going to know me from doing my funny voices. And, maybe it's just somebody else who can do an orc voice. Actually, I have a question. You started a Space Marine story. You've done Guardsman stories, Dark Eldar, Orcs. You've talked about doing Admech stories. Have you doing something with Tyranids? I am doing Og is Tyranids. Og the Ogren is Tyranids. I don't plan on doing a story where we focus on the Tyranids because the hive mind is so alien. like stories require you to be able to connect with characters, or that's kind of the way I write stories. And there's nothing to connect to with Tyranids. They are hungry and they're mega genius bugs that eat everything. I definitely want to do some Necron stuff now that they actually have characters. Opinion on Malal Malice. I like I said, Malal and Malice. Malice. I have, of what I've read, I think it's an interesting concept, but I haven't seen them do anything super interesting with them. If they did something cool with that idea of nihilism being a chaos god, I'd be kind of interested. But like I said, interested in concept. Haven't seen them do anything interesting. Wouldn't be against it. Hello, what's going on? Not too much. I'm doing this stream thing. Hello? Have you ever thought of getting videos animated if you had the money for it? I am far from having the money for it. I'd be down to like pay for some, like maybe go back and get some of my most popular things animated. Like get the Og the Ogren going into the transport, get that animated. I think that'd be fun. But I don't have the means for it. I'm making enough money to buy groceries and feed my dogs, and that's about it. I'm trying to get caught up. There's a lot of talk. Do Sergeant. I can't do Sergeant Lazarus because I have to warp my voice to get down that low. That is an effect. Gollum. It's good. Do an elbow reveal. Do an elbow reveal. Ta-da! Elbow. That's my elbow. You guys are odd. Not telling what country you're from. Such privacy. P.S. I don't have 100k subs. I don't think you'll even be able to. If you don't have 100k subs, I don't think you'll even talk up to the YouTube staff. Yeah, pretty much. I might. I've sent Alpha Busa some stuff. I hope you get in contact with Alpha Busa first. Oh, you're making these stories up, everything, like even the characters. Yes, I make it. These are not things that are already written. All of my everything. I write everything. I voice everything. I do everything. I don't make all the art, because I have to get that off the internet. But yeah, I do all the voices. I write everything. There's a couple things I don't write. Like obviously, I did the Hobbit thing today. I did the orcs singing "That's What Bilbo Baggins Hates," which obviously is written by Tolkien. And I occasionally will do quotes from stuff, but by and large part, the vast majority of my stuff is I write, unless it's like, again, Shakespeare or Tolkien or something I'm quoting. Nom nom nom. Oh, the Tyranids are here. Someone fall into chaos. When you put a poll asking us which story we want to hear, was there a story that you were disappointed that you couldn't write? No, like the key thing about doing a poll is I kind of have like I don't put anything on a poll that I don't want to do. I think the only thing that's going to be a choice between two things is the Snotling roguelike thing versus the human colonist roguelike, where again it would be like you guys choose things and you're just ripping through characters as things kind of go along. But yeah, I probably am not going to do the human one for a while if I end up doing the Snotling one. But the other pretty much all of them are things I'm going to do. I don't remember the name of the necro. Let's see. I do want to do a Thousand Sun story. Like I want to do some Tzeentch stuff, but I kind of need. If I do a Tzeentch story, I kind of need to make a story that's as convoluted as a Tzeentch plot without the narrative getting bogged down in how convoluted it is. Like I want to do that. I like the Thousand Suns. Psychers are also hard to write because they have infinite magical powers that can kind of do anything. GW isn't clear on what the limits of Psychers are. They can kind of do anything. They just have a couple pieces of kryptonite to deal with. I don't remember the name of the Necron that like thinks he's alive and is crazy. I forget that guy's name. Of course, I forget like even my favorite faction, Orcs names of outside of like Gazgul and Grotsnik and like I think I get mixed up after that. Like I know the names, but I forget who does what because they all sound the same. Account is super underrated. Love hearing these stories. Thank you. Have you ever thought of doing a story centered out at Chaos Marines Warband? I'd like to do some more love for Chaos. Again, it's hard for me to connect with Chaos because it's very anathema to me. You claim victory over you. Where did you say you claim victory over me? I don't see where you. I skipped over your comment where I claimed victory over you. Haha, you said you wouldn't do voices. I made you do the voices. Say when you lose. No, I never said I wasn't going to do the voices. I said I'm not doing it for a 2, 3, 4 hour stream. That's going to be too much. But if you want victory, Lubis, I grant you victory. You may have victory. Lord of the Rings song. We do a video from the Emperor series with Guard Grot singing the song "Where to Whip This Away." Oh man, that song I have mixed feelings about because it's very silly. But I'll never say never. Gotta get them clicks. Gotta get them likes. Hit that subscribe button. I prefer the wall rather than Yumi nonsense. I like Orcs, but I can't do all Orcs all the time. I need to break it up a little bit. Orc stories get very similar, which is a little bit of the situation I'm in right now. It's hard to write Orc story after Orc story after Orc story. And I currently have 3 Orc stories. Yeah, 3 Orc stories going on at the moment. And it's hard for me to write them when they're all kind of stacked up on each other. Yeah, Tuska Demon Killer. Yeah, he's pretty easy to remember. He's pretty unique. Inquisitor Mary Poppins song. Have you listened to that guy's story where it's 40K going into Star Wars universe? It's pretty lit so far. I don't like doing crossovers that much. Like doing something funny and short, like the Lord of the Rings thing, or doing Shakespeare. Like that's fine. I know that 40K going into Star Wars, doing that as a crossover is a big popular thing. I've seen people do Star Trek. It's just not something that I'm super into, partially because like lore is complicated enough. Trying to make lore make sense while like juggling a crap ton of lore and satisfying 2 groups of fanboys is pretty crazy. Hey, Angus McFlane, you're here. Well, yep, Lubis wins. Yes, you win, Lubis. Misa Ray Ray Nobis for the War Master. Also, what dogs do I have? I have a German Shepherd flat-coated retriever mix, and I have a mutt that we technically don't know what his mix is, but which our area we're not allowed to own pits, but I'm pretty sure he's a significant part of his pit. Because that's his head is big and he acts like a pit. He's probably a pit. The one that was, if you heard him whining, that was him. He was on the staircase whining at me because I took them out to go for a walk right before I did this, and so they'd be calm, and he's still antsy and whiny. Sup with some Orc Titus Andronicus? Oh boy. I know of Titus Andronicus, and I know what happens in it, but I think Chaos Titus Andronicus might be more appropriate. Orc stories get very well played, Angus McFlan. Next on the production line, loving your most recent Space Marine story. The what's coming up is I want to wrap up the Emperor. The Emperor's. I mean, it's going to take a little while. It's not all going to get wrapped up immediately, but the climax of the heresy is going to happen fairly soon. I mean, I left it on a cliffhanger for a reason, that things are now going to get super serious. I don't think that's a spoiler. That we're getting into things happening and how everything's going to play out there. Guts Mangle's boys. I'm getting ready to finish up too. I need there's at least I might continue Guts Mangle's boys later, but it's not a super popular series, and I might continue it later, but I at least want to finish up this part of it. We'll see. I also want, so once I wrap up those two, then I want to do the AdMech story. I want to start doing that one, and I want to start doing once I'm just only have one orc story, which will be Git Slaya. Then I feel comfortable doing the Snotling one, where you guys are the ones choosing what to do. Because Acel's crew sold some Tau. Oh yeah, they did. You haven't done Tau either. They aren't really featured in any of your stories. Tau are hard because they're like humans, but they're like different. They're like a little bit alien. I also don't know that much. Like I've seen some of their lore, tried to learn more about them, but they're kind of like humans, but like just things are nicer. They're a little bit like a watered down Imperium, because things are bad and they're brainwashing people, but like their worlds are nicer and they have a rigid caste system. But I don't find them to be unique enough in the lore for a story to leap out at me. I want to bring them in more because I know people like Tau, and there are cool things about them. Like I like them in the whole story, but it's hard to focus on them, and it's hard to make them good bad guys, or good guys too. It's like I mean, I guess you could, but so much of a dramatic climactic fight is getting in a sword fight in Warhammer. Let's see. What is my opinion on DACA Squadron? I've heard of it. I haven't played it. I've heard that there's a demo. I haven't played it. I honestly don't have time. I'm doing this. I'm doing school. I still work at a restaurant occasionally. Like I have things that are doing with my family. I don't have time to kind of do a lot of stuff outside of you know what's already in my schedule. Have you ever tried DMing a Warhammer 40K game? I haven't run one yet, but I think I could. I think it'd be fun. Are non-canon stuff things considered for story stuff like Angry Marines? I might do something that's like really silly. Like if I do an Angry Marine story, it's going to be like an Orc story. It's going to be really silly. Like I might. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. Toasters, man, best of luck. Your content is awesome. I need to go back to work. See you, Christian Cordoba. I imagine Tao's like the Covenant. Yeah, kind of. I also need to learn more about Tau. Those some fighting words. No, man. What did I say? Which things? That Tau aren't interesting. What did I say? I would do a brainwash communist permanent happy vibe with Tau. Could be interesting. Tau story, but it's literally just an anime. Space socialist. Tau are kind of cool. Shape of nightmare. I need to. Tau have hooves, cleft in the forehead, short lifespans. They aren't very humanoid, but what they want is pretty relatable. Like I said, I don't know that much about the Tau. I've been trying to read more lore about them, and it just hasn't gripped me. Like, Tau story I'd like to see is with the Farsight Enclaves. I've heard a lot of really good stuff about the Farsight Enclaves, and everybody really likes that. chafing with the Greater Tau Empire. Interested to see how Ogg's story goes. I thought him reunited with Gallus cut everything up with a nice bow. Oh, the war's not over yet. The big reason, the big twist is still coming. The big thing is still coming. This is all kind of working. This is all kind of character arc to get Ogg to. In video games, he's now at the level where you can now go deal with the final level. He's gone through his arc, and now it's sort of, now that you have gotten your hero to the point where they're ready to face their final challenge, that's where we are. Like, it's nice that he gets reunited with Gallus, but there's still a whole other thing yet to happen. Not desperate. Much prefer Orcs. Yeah, I like Orcs. Like I said, Orcs, if I need to write something, it's so easy to write Orcs for me. Because it's just pick something, twist it so it's orky and silly, and then that's an Orc story. The greater good is sinister to me. I just don't have real strong feelings about the Tau, which make it hard for me to write about them. Like, I wrote Kazazel because I hate Dark Eldar. I love to hate Dark Eldar, which is what. Then I have Gitslaya and I have Kazazel, which feature Dark Eldar prominently, and that makes it. It's like, if I have strong feelings about something, it makes it easy to write. I just don't have. I'm not into Tau, and I need to find a story with Tau that I really like, I guess. War. The war is never over in the grim darkness of the 41st millennium. It's the 42nd millennium now. They've moved on. Og the Ogren versus Hive Tyrant, Marnius Calgar style. We'll see. We'll see what happens. With Tau, the one thing that's really funny, when they didn't believe the captured guardsmen that something like Titans exist, because it was to them too stupid for someone to build. And one time one time to fight those. Yeah. Titans are. I like Titans because I like giant robots, but you kind of have to do a lot of hand waving when it comes to the military strategy of the grimdark future, because it doesn't make sense. It's like all of the armies fight as if there aren't precision guided instruments that can guide really big bombs to hit targets, where it doesn't really make sense to move these really big infantry based armies across the world when you can have a spaceship push a button and easily target large troop movements. If everything happens in 40K the way probably war would be fought on a space level, everything would just happen in space. And then infantry would be used to go door to door in urban landscapes. But that's not very interesting, so you kind of hand wave it away and create a war setting that is much more like World War I and World War II, which is fine. I'm willing to suspend my disbelief for that, and it rubs me the wrong way occasionally when somebody, when that guy wants to get up in my grill about how the way the Imperium conducts war totally makes sense, because it doesn't. It just doesn't. When you can shoot suns at each other, dudes with guns don't really make any sense. But the Tau, with Tau, one thing is really funny when they didn't. Oh yeah, I read that. Published one-page book, Writing Orcs 101. I certainly could do it. It's not. I definitely might just do a video where it's like, here's how to write Orcs. It was actually kind of an interesting thing. Like, I really like Emperor's text-to-speech, but it's something that I think they don't focus. It's like, because the guys in TTS make all of the serious things in 40K really silly. So the Emperor's really silly, Dorn is funny, Magnet, like the Custodies are oiled up weirdos. Like, because everyone is kind of stupid and silly, the things that are built into Warhammer as being stupid and silly, namely orcs and ogrins, they just like don't feature them at all because they don't have anything for them to do, because they're just as silly as everything else. Which is fine if the joke is if the joke is that you're dealing with that everyone's stupid. Having the people that are deliberately stupid show up doesn't really work. Remember a story about Tau OP rail weapons just melting a Titan? The Imperium then had an oh shit moment and just left. Yeah. There's so much stuff that obliterates armor. It's odd that the 40k universe focuses so much on armor. It's like you mostly just need a weapons delivery system and stay out of range of everybody else's weapons. That's kind of it. Hey, I'm a big fan. Can you please say happy birthday? Do you want? Hey, Charlie Elliott. Do you want a character to say happy birthday? I can say happy birthday. Happy birthday, Charlie Elliott. Do you want the characters to say happy birthday? I'll let you think about it. 40k originated as parody, and TTS is a parody of a parody. Well, 40k as a pure parody, I don't think is very strong. I think it's best when you have a mix of tones. When you have this really, really grimdark setting where things can get really super crazy serious, it also kind of needs to be balanced out by not taking yourself so seriously. Humor is very disarming in making people take things more seriously. Blanket, hi. If anything, orcs live through Vulcan. Yeah, but that's more of like a funny thing for Vulcan. I still don't. They're what they do with orcs is very limited, and it's like TTS is what it is, and what they're trying to achieve, at least so far, I don't think their orc stuff is all that funny. But even so, all right, Charlie Elliott, you want Og to wish you happy birthday? Hey, Charlie Elliott, happy birthday! You're 1 year older now, so that's good. I don't know when my birthday is, so I'll guess I'll make it today too. It's my birthday! Happy birthday, Charlie! We're birthday buddies now. Happy birthday, Charlie. I've only seen orcs in Alphabusa creations such as Psychedelics, Blood Angels. They have a bit way back when where Gazgul is beating up the Blacktooth, whatever his name is, Blacktooth, who's the leader of the Octarius Empire, and it's like, you know, I'm the biggest orc in this whole sector. Looking at where you're standing right now, you's way off, son. Like, they have that encounter, and it's weird. It's almost like funny, inherently funny characters. They like make weirdly unfunny, like Chegarak, the laughing god. Like, he's not funny. He's deliberately not funny. And Gazgul was telling bad jokes. He's like deliberately not funny. They do actually have TTS orcs show up, but that's the only time, and then they mention them indirectly. Charlie Elliott, thank you for the donation. Thank you for the pound. Appreciate it. Let's see. So finally, after like 4 weeks, how was the? Hey, Angus. Thank you, Angus, for the donation. Much appreciated. Everyone get hype. There's going to be a long haul. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, I'm making this a longer stream. I'm gonna go big on this one. Def Squadron is the best. I love Def Squadron. It is also freely available online, and if you guys haven't seen it, go read Def Squadron. Def Squadron is peak orc story. That is. I aspire to be as good as Def Squadron. Let's see. Yeah, let's do. What group of Tau really dedicated to the greater good, kidnapping random orc and trying to make him calm and smart through any means would be a good story? It could be. Like, I like putting orcs in odd situations, because one of the things that I personally believe, that is my headcanon, is that orcs are not stupid. They just have completely different values from everyone else. Everyone thinks orcs are stupid because they have no sense of self-preservation, but like, just if the only thing you ever care about doing is fighting, and reality kind of bends to whatever it is you think it is, you don't like you'll appear stupid, but you're not really stupid. You're just orcs absolutely do what they want to, and that's like, I don't think of orcs as stupid. They like the mental capacity of an orc boy. Their limitation is they don't understand humans because they they don't want the same things humans do. Um, but I don't think orcs are stupid at all. Um, like, they are, I would say an average orc is about on par with, is probably smarter actually than the average imperial citizen. Um, let's see. Alpha Busa took inspiration from your video. Be free and green. No. I took the inspiration from Alpha Busa. Be free, green fellows. No, that was I took from him. Um, it was a nod. It was an homage. Don't that I He did not take from me. He commented on that story. It's pretty cool though. Orcs are too cunning to be stupid. Yep, that's kind of where I'm at. Kegarak is very funny from my point of view. Nothing like a giant sewer goblin scaring big tough superhumans. Clown Shriek from episode 29 made me laugh. Like, I think Kegarak is funny, but like, what he does, he's funny. The way he's done is funny, but he is not funny. The character is not funny in the way I kind of. Hey, DXD Kid, yo. Hey, how's it going? For DXD Kid is the guy who gave me Git Slayer. He's the one. He's the creator of Git Slayer. For those of you that like that story, and he's also like been a subscriber since I had like 100 people. So props to you. See, I like that. In that story, when the one war boss was in the Imperial fighting rulebook, turned on his Imperial ally with the reason you should not ally with Xenos. It's pretty entertaining. Do you love like fantasy setting as well? Well, Squeak would love to see view a Skaven Master Race video. I'd really like Skaven. I've again A lot of their things that I haven't been writing are because I don't know that much about it. I like Skaven. I think they're very funny, and I like a bunch of stuff from fantasy / Age of Sigmar. But the hesitation is A, I don't know that much about it. B, Warhammer 40K is much more popular. So maybe I'll do it. Maybe I'll branch out, but it is not on the horizon super soon. Well, smarter than Tau terms, at least, possibly. It's like saying the same thing as saying a kid is stupid. People think kids understand way less than they actually do. Kids are super smart. Kids absorb information like a sponge, and it's kind of like what orcs are going to learn the things that they need to accomplish what they're going to do. They don't think ahead a whole lot because they don't need to. But they'll be more cunning than people expect generally. Orcs, they were. That's why I asked. Remember him commenting. They were built for a purpose. That purpose is war. Everything else wasn't as important to the old ones, so weren't included. Don't want war machines thinking about the meaning of life. Yeah, it was the old ones made a mistake with the Eldar because the Eldar got consumed by angst and philosophy and became decadent jerk faces. Whereas orcs, like, okay, let's fix this and just make, if they fight, then they're happy, instead of let's make almost like a companion race that can be as intelligent as us and have psychic powers and Well, except they have to like learn how to be like responsible adults, and maybe they don't do that. There's also Craft World, Eldar and Eldar Corsairs. They seem really alien. Also Imperial Navy and Rogue Traders. I'm just asking every faction I can think of. I'm gonna get to things when I get to things. There are definitely more factions I want to focus on. Space Marines was the one I wanted to do because it is hands down the most popular faction. Iron Hands is not the. I kind of wanted to do an Ultramarine story, but it's like I don't want to. Ultramarine, like I don't dislike Ultramarines, but it seems like almost a cop out when it comes to story because an Ultramarine can kind of has a lot of latitude with what kind of character they are because they're sort of all rounders, so you can have a bunch of different kinds of people. I want to write Ultramarines because it's easy to write a bunch of characters that are different. Most other chapters are too specific to have like a lot of characters and have them all fit the bill of their chapter, but also be different. Thank you. It's good to be here. Yep, no problem. Have you ever played D&D? Yep, I played a lot of D&D. Played a lot of D&D. Mostly in college. I don't play a ton now. I role play occasionally, but I'm not in any campaigns. It's an issue of time. We have Nurgle Orc, Khorne Orcs. What about Slaanesh Orc and maybe Tzeentch Orcs? I kind of go with the thing of Orcs. If Orcs fall to Chaos, it's because they're tricked. They're not. Chaos doesn't really appeal to Orcs the same way it does to humans and Eldar, or it doesn't really appeal to Eldar because they're just going to get eaten. But the temptations for Orcs just aren't there. It happens, but they have sort of stopped talking about it. It's a bit off topic, but what do you think the Eldar, before they went and start worshipping Slaanesh and Descent and Debauchery, they never worshipped Slaanesh. They just created Slaanesh and then started getting eaten by Slaanesh. What do you think the Eldar were before? They're probably similar to what the Dark Eldar are now, but like not hiding in the shadows. They just be more openly doing things. Super Tats interrupted. So about my question, what was your question, Eric? I apologize. Eric, if you can repeat your question, I'll get to it faster. Yeah, Slaanesh has nothing to offer Orcs. Tzeentch is too complicated for Orcs. Yeah, pretty much. Oh, yeah. The 90s 40K live action movie impressions. Let me quick answer other things, and I want to talk about the short movie. What are your thoughts of Tau? They're not grimdark. What do you think? I don't have strong feelings about the Tau, and that's kind of my problem. Make a homebrew chapter, maybe. Do your mother and father and all your comrades actually call you No Man? That is a quote from the Odyssey. When Odysseus talks to Polyphemus, the Cyclops, and he asks him what his name is, he says, "No man do they call me, my mother and my father and all my comrades as well." Or at least that's what my translation says. So it's the line from the Odyssey is what I'm quoting. So I'm going to talk. I'm going to talk about Eric because I've been talking to Eric for a while about. He was the one who suggested that I watch the old 90s 40K live action movie. I think it's called Inquisitor. It has a lot of vibe. It has a lot of vibes from the original series Star Trek in that it is clearly done on a budget. It's like 96, I think, is the movie. And I like the costumes. The costumes are really good. I think they could have done some more interesting things with camera angles because they're very flat. Like the way characters are framed and talking, it's not very interesting to look at, which could have been something they fixed, like cheap sets or whatever. But I liked a lot of the costume stuff. I liked the performances for the most part. I didn't really like the Space Marine captain. I thought he was a little weak sauce. It's a little hokey, but by and large, it's pretty fun. I like it. I had a fun time watching it. Um, I think the thing I liked better were the trailers for the other short movies that never got made. Because they have the one where they're dealing with a gene stealer cult, and then there's another one where they're dealing with an orc. It's Space Wolves versus Orcs, and then I forget which chapter is fighting the gene stealers, but they're in Terminator armor. It's like that. Those are like, man, I want to see that. I want to see Terminators fighting gene stealers. Like that sounds fun. Um, but yeah, I actually kind of wanted to do. I want to ask chat this question. I was thinking of doing a stream. I want to get a better stream. I want to learn how to use a proper streaming software, which I kind of want to do this weekend. Maybe on Sunday on my break, figure out how it works. Get a decent piece of streaming software, and then I was thinking of watching the Ultramarine movie. I've seen clips of it, and boy, oh boy, does it look awful. And I was like, that'd be a fun thing to stream and like have a drinking game doing that. Um, is that something you guys would want to do? Would you want to like spend a Friday watching the terrible looking Ultramarines movie and like having a beer? It's a thing I'll put in the. That's cool. Okay. It exists on YouTube. And I was shocked because I saw like a little clip of it. I was like, I've never seen that movie. I want to see it. And I pulled it up. It was made in 2010, and it looks like the animation looks like mid 90s Beast Wars. It looks so bad. It looks so bad. Uh, I don't know anything about it. I haven't actually seen it, but I saw clips of it. I'm just like, oh no. Games Workshop, why don't you invest in things like you? How do you expect things to be successful when you don't invest money into them? Oh, I'll be fine. The key to not killing yourself in a drinking game is if you start getting too much, you switch to water, and then you just alternate. Gotta learn these grown up drinking game rules. Um, don't tell you it has CGI. The whole thing is CGI. The Ultramarines movie is all CGI, which is fine. Like it's Astartes is all CGI. I think if you made a really good Space Marines movie, I think the best way to do it is in CGI. Um, yeah, it's so sad to see the first Dawn of War cutscene was made in 2003 and the Ultramarines movie was made in 2010. Yeah, yeah, that there's it is baffling to me how the Ultramarines movie looks that bad. Hey, you're the orc. Kicks open the door with my fist, as orcs should. Can't be very actively, but I'll be working. Wishing you all a lot of fun on the nice weekend regardless. Take care, everyone. Good to see you. You're always fun to have the wall come by. If they did a live action, they would have to butcher it so badly. GI is best for 40K. I think like you could do a. It's just not a feasible thing to do. If you're going to do a live action, it would have to be a very small scale thing. Guardsman was mostly, if you guys have seen Guardsman, which is another YouTube, it's great. It's 2019 Guardsman. It is fantastic fan film. It is mostly live action, and then there are like some CGI Tyranids, but that looks really good. An orc movie, I would love an orc movie. I don't think GW would ever go for an orc movie, or if they did, they wouldn't focus on the orcs. Let's see. If GW would invest money like movies or games other than Dawn of War, they would get even more money. Yeah, I mean, Games Workshop. I said this before in another stream. Is Games Workshop should shift their model to be more similar to Marvel, because Marvel made money hand over fist. I mean, they're also part of Disney now, but um, the whole idea that Marvel makes movies, which is more accessible than comics, and they make more money than comics. Um, like that's kind of their more primary thing of what they make their money on. And then what they do is they have a dedicated group of fans that read their comics, and then comics then become the basis for movies. Like that's now their thing. I think GW should make their plastic cheaper and focus more on making money using more accessible kinds of medium, because miniatures is kind of a niche thing. I think they should make their money on video games and maybe making a decent movie, and then use the lore, use the miniatures, use the stories that kind of come out of the Black Library as then ways of playtesting uh, plot things they could use for movies and things. That would be what I would do, because it works. It just requires effort. Let's see. Live action fan movie turned out okay. The one with the Inquisitor. I haven't seen that one yet. Any thoughts on Death of Hope animations? Haven't seen Death of Hope yet. I don't think I have. Which one's Death of Hope? 2D animations can work as well. Yep, I'd be down for 2D animations too. Like that might be a good way to go. Where they find all those burly boys? If you put the money in, where'd they find all those burly boys for Good Space Marine movie? They found people for 300. You can find people that are huge dudes. It's hard to find good actors that are all giant dudes though. Um, Way to survive movie night: Beast Law. Alcohol just can't kill me ever. It can kill me. Um, I'm old and I don't drink the way I used to when I was young. I'm not that old, but I can't drink like I was 21. Um, a Disney orc movie. I'd be. I don't trust Disney to handle things that are outside of their comfort zone. Um, I'd like to see a video game interpretation of Gorka Morka. I think that'd be super fun. Purple on the bum, blue on the face. Like it's. I don't know the context of that comment. I missed 30 minutes. Not what happened. Oh, not too much. We're chatting away. We're talking about Games Workshop stuff. Um, After a little bit, I do want to ask you guys some specific things about the channel, because we now have like a decent number of people that are in here. Hey, Philip, how's it going? If GW's gets too big on cinematic universe, it'll have to bend over politics and nonsense instead of focusing on the story. Otherwise, it'll become a target. Yeah, I think things need to like settle down in the world right now, because there's a giant culture war happening that I want no part of at all. And I think when the culture war settles down and you don't have both sides saying, my point of view has to be represented or else I'm not seeing this movie, I want that to stop. I want people to stop walking on eggshells and make some stupid movies. Grimdark for children. I think you could make a children's 40K story. Like I try to. I think a bunch of my stories would work for kids. All you need to do is kind of mute the violence a little bit. I don't curse. I don't have a whole lot of. I don't really do sex stuff. It's just the thing that is inappropriate for kids in my stories are it's really violent. And I think if you just if you're doing a kids movie with 40K, you just cut away from things when they get really violent. And it's not like Disney doesn't brutally kill people. Also, that Tarzan, the dude gets hung. That's pretty intense. Why did I make my channel? Lord Voldemort. basically. I had written fan fiction before, and I saw Lord Voldemort's channel, and it's like, I could do that. I can tell stories. Um, I can tell stories, and I think I could make a decent YouTube channel. And I would like to stop having to work at a restaurant. And I mostly don't have to anymore. So that my goal has been achieved. Everything else is gravy at this point. Ogres and gummy bears representation of Disney Orcs. I haven't seen gummy bears in ages. I guess Disney is. You're not woke, my grim dark. I don't like either. This is the only time I'm going to get political, and it's mostly to say I don't like being political. I don't like the woke side. I don't like the anti-woke side. It is interfering with people's abilities to tell stories that connect with people. It's like, you got to do all this stuff. And it's like, I don't want to do all this stuff. I want to tell interesting stories. All right, so I'm gonna get back into the thing I was gonna talk about, because I'm falling behind a little bit on the questions. Because we're kind of talking about some of the things that I wanted to get to, but so speaking of frustrating things, as we're talking about Disney and GW, I wanted to talk about YouTube premieres and the YouTube polls, and now they're talking about YouTube Shorts. All pretty much, like, polls I think are okay. Like, I like being able to talk to you guys and get feedback on certain things. It's also a really useful thing for the choose your own adventure stories that I want to keep doing. Like, I really like that. I like, so polls are like I'm okay with, but I think they are way super stacked on reaching other people outside of my group. Like, I want my polls to just be targeted at my people, and I don't want polls to really pull people in. But if I'm not doing polls, if I'm not spamming them, then, like, the algorithm doesn't like it. Polls are less of an issue because I generally can find something relevant to ask you guys in a poll and not spam them. The thing that I really don't like is that premiere. That I don't like YouTube premieres. I think they're clunky. I think they're annoying. I think it's hard to watch a premiere. And whenever something's premiering, I just don't watch it because I'm probably coming in the middle of it. But that is also a thing of, they want you to use it. Essentially, YouTube has all these things that are coming out that are clunky and not very good to use, but they influence the algorithm so much to convince people to use them, but they don't work very well. So that I tried out Premiere to see if it was something people liked, because I don't really like Premiere. I got some feedback, so that's kind of it. I wanted some feedback on, how do you guys feel about polls? How do you guys feel about Premiere? And then you also now have, like, YouTube Shorts, which I don't think I'm ever going to, I don't get it. I don't get the appeal. I've never seen a short thing that people made that I cared for, so I don't get it. I don't understand. But yeah, love polls, don't care. But yeah, I'm kind of like, polls are fun. Do more polls. Okay, like, that was kind of what I got. Is like, polls are not annoying. If you don't like them, they're easy to ignore. Videos are nice. They're interactive. Shorts are great because they have a higher chance of going viral. I mean, I don't mind doing a short video, but there's, like, a thing that is YouTube Shorts, which they have the really weird tiny screen or something. I don't even know how to make them, but it's like, it's supposed to be the next thing. Polls are okay. Premieres are frustrating. Like, the video's ready, but you must wait for and plan for it. And if you're late, you must end the video play from its beginning. Yeah. Like, it's kind of it's kind of neat, but I generally don't like it, because I just wait for premieres to be over before I can actually watch the thing. And then I frequently don't watch the thing because it doesn't pop up in my thing again. Love polls, don't care for shorts. I love LAMP. Premieres are kind of dumb. Can't you just Discord do Discord and do polls and stuff now? Yeah, I can, but not everyone's on my Discord, and like I think on my Discord there's I haven't looked. When I woke up this morning, it was like there's like 50 people on my Discord, and I'm getting like thousands of votes on my polls, so I'm reaching more people that way. But it's like me going online after work, seeing a channel vid, I go, I'm gonna watch that, and that's that. That's kind of the way I don't understand why YouTube develop premieres. I don't get it. I don't get it. I like polls. Premieres are okay. I silly moved the video back to where there's a 5-second countdown. YouTube keeps trying to cram new stuff into the site instead of fixing it. Yeah, that's kind of the feeling I'm getting. But getting some feedback from you guys is helpful, because I don't want to get left behind by the algorithm, but I don't want to alienate my subs, the people who butter my bread, so to speak. I feel like the same about premieres. I just wait for it to end and watch the VOD later. The shorts thing I don't care about. Premieres tend to happen while I'm either going or at work, so don't bother. Yes, I do have a Discord. My Discord, yes, I have a Discord. The link is, if you go to my channel, there's like the top right, there's like a bunch of different links to like my Patreon and my PayPal and blah, 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 blah. And my Discord is linked up there. So you can go there. I got to get it set up. I got to get channels, discussion channels worked out. And I think I'm going to do that organically, namely, what do people talk about? I will eventually need to figure out who I want to mod those, because I'm not going to have time to be on Discord much. Got YouTube Red for Cobra Kai. No, that's Netflix, so I keep it to skip ads. Check this community tab. You can find it. Yeah. Yep. Thank you. You're the no problem. I'm actually crying that you read out my I love Lamp comment. I'm not going to deny that you love Lamp. It's important. Love who you're going to love. I need to eat. Bye. See you, Mr. Simpson. Severed Pighead. I'm not on your Discord. I visit YouTube regularly. I will see polls here. I think probably I'm gonna keep doing both, of have polls on YouTube and have polls in Discord. Yeah. Okay. So I'm pretty content with, unless you guys have other things to say about changes on YouTube. I'm going to try to navigate it. Somebody mentioned in one of my things, they commented they didn't like all the poll spams, and I don't really like the spamming polls either. But my goal is to kind of use these new YouTube features in a way that isn't annoying, that helps me with my algorithm, because I want to get to that 10K. Other thing I wanted to do. Let's see. Anything else? I'm gonna get back. I'm gonna take a break from answering questions for a second, because there's a couple other things I wanted to discuss. Wanted to get some feedback on current series. I know Og the Ogren is the most popular. Which is good, because I'm pretty proud of Og the Ogren. I think that one is the series that I'm most proud of. The characterization, the progression, the pacing. Like I think it's my favorite story. But just wanted to get. Do you guys have favorite series outside of Og? Just kind of wanted to get chat's feedback on that. Sexy Grots will get you to 10K. Og is excellent. Kazazel, Charlie Higgins, Get Slayham, Guts Mangles Boys is my favorite. Oh, we got a pretty good mix so far. Kazazel, I had a surprising amount of fun doing Kazazel. He's an interesting character. Love them all. Guts Mangles Boys is good. Emperor's my favorite. Kazazel needs more cruelty. He's gonna get it. he's gonna be out of the story for a little bit. I thought he was pretty cruel when like the dude, the ganger was like tried to back down and he still pretty thoroughly murdered him. The Krieger is pretty neat. It is a completed series. I might do an epilogue because some people have asked me to do a Krieger epilogue. I like the Krieger and the new Iron Hand. I'm pretty excited to do the Iron Hand. It's going in a direction that is a little bit different than my original plan, but I kind of like that. Love to Torrent Kazazel. He was fun to do in my last live stream. It was pretty demanding, but it was a lot of fun to have Og and Orkgar bothering Kazazel. It was very silly. The Orcs in Komara, that's Gitslayer. Severed Pighead, I don't know the name of the Orcs. That's Gitslayer in Komara. If Kazazel was a person, I would send his location to the Salamanders. Yeah, he's... If both the Salamanders and Kazazel were real. I like Og the Ogren series that you're pushing a subject that nobody did that. I really like Ogren quotes in Dawn of War. It'd be cool if you made an arc about Gretchen. That's kind of going to be what my roguelike orc story is going to be, where you guys start out as a snotling, and as the tribe grows and you get more orcoid forms, people can choose to be different things. Like, you start off being snotling, you gotta farm mushroom piles, you gotta get squigs, and you gotta get Gretchen, and then after a couple months, you start getting orcs, and then go from there. But it's going to be a thing where characters are going to get cycled through, and I think I might do it this stream, but I don't think I'm quite ready. Like, I think if I'm going to start the orc roguelike story, it's going to be in like 3 weeks, because I want to get other things wrapped up and other things started before. Let's see. The Emperor is always good. Kazazel's grown on me. My favorite up to now has been the orc who couldn't say his name. Wired into the ship. Really funny lines. Oh, Orcbot. Orcbot will continue to feature as Gutsmangle's Boys kind of reaches the end of this part. Kazazel is cruel, but he knows when to hold back a bit instead of being a typical Drukhari. Yeah, Kazazel's whole thing of like, what I like about him is he wants to have a good time, and he understands that having some people that he can trust, or having some safe points of harbor that he more or less can rely on, is really useful. Having to fight everyone all the time and backstabbing everyone is just... nobody gets anything. Heart of Iron equals 40k Dr. Stone. I don't know Dr. Stone. Get bigger and badder. Lil sounds fun. I gotta walk my doggo, but I'll be back. All right, Eric. No rush. What story about the Gretchen Revolutionary Committee? Them boys be whacked. I think that could be fun. Like, it's one... like, I like to say I don't like politics, but if you have enough distance on them, I think things become funny. Like, I don't think anyone gets offended by having the Grots do a weird communist revolution thing. I think that's very funny. Kind of the way it's done in Life of Brian. If people have seen Monty Python's Life of Brian. So yeah, what I wanted to do eventually is if people did super chats, they would be able to name the different characters in the roguelike. So if you start off, you're the snotling, he gets the name, and you might like roll through like a bunch of different guys in a session or two. But people would be able to name them that way. But I don't know. I don't want to do that until I'm closer to actually doing that story. Oh, Dr. Stone is basically humanity technology speedrun. We started out with cavemen, and now we're trying to get to the moon. Okay, interesting. Interesting. It's not about politics. It's about Gretzen's trying to cease the ways of Krumpen. Gang of Grots abandoning Orcs and joining us. How would be hilarious. Red Grot's the best. He's not the Emperor. He's not the Emperor. He's a very Gittish Grot. Hey. Only a true Emperor would deny he's the Emperor. What about an Astra Miligratu? What I want to do with the Emperor is I want to complete the overarching heresy thing, and then maybe go back and do stories that happen within the time of the Green Crusade, and do things with the Astra Miligratum, and do things that focus on specific Prime Orcs, and kind of have my own little universe where things are. Real life politics aren't fun in universe. Politics are fun. For New Vegas is a good example of that. What about a Miligratum story? Yeah, I like a Fallout New Vegas with Orcs. I deny he's the Emperor. Well, the Emperor is here now, so yeah. But are you the Emperor? He's the Emperor. Oh man. Oh. Let's see what else we got. Let's do some. Do you guys want to do some character question and answers things? Like talking to Og or Gitslaya or whoever. I'd be down to take some questions about that. Well, the Heretics could be interested. Imperium has heretics. Orcs Imperium has Grot heretics. Story about human living under the Emperor's rule. I do want to do a human thing of living under the Emperor's rule, because it touched on it with some of the stories, but because you have the Inquisitor going and questioning people that interact with the Orcs. But I kind of wanted to do an everyday one, but I think I'm going to do that after the heresy's done. It's a big sandbox once you finish the current Emperor arc. Yeah. The Pirium is going to be a place where stories can happen once I'm done. That could be interesting. Blessed be the Emperor. Not really. Grot Alonius Pius, by the way. People want Grot Alonius Pius really hard, and they also want Rylanor. They want Orc Rylanor. I'm going to see what I can fit in, but there might be some things that are stories that are going to be after the main heresy's dealt with. Fallout with Orcs would make vanilla Fallout look civilized. Fair. I don't know much here in the tabletop, but maybe a narrative campaign that gets turned into stories. Maybe it's an issue of getting people together to run in a campaign, to be in a campaign. Also, role-playing campaigns work differently from the way regular stories work, because the pacing of a game is different from just hearing a story. Typically, D&D games that make for good stories have really, really, really strong characters, and you're mostly listening because it's fun to listen to the characters bounce off of things. Hearing about fights in a role-playing game is not very interesting, and the pacing is messed up compared to what I want to do in my YouTube channel, which is kind of tell stories in a fairly cinematic way. Like, the way I have things paced are like movies. If you have Og the Ogren is kind of like a movie trilogy. You have Og the Ogren building up to the Astara Triangle, and that's like movie one. And then you have Og the Ogren building up to the Blood of Heroes, and that's movie two. And now we're going to build up again to the next one. BGCVETAN, the 10. Have you considered doing an Exodite story, maybe like living on Caldera before Vulcan roasted it? I like the Exodites. I think they're interesting. It's definitely something I would like to do. I'm so far, they're a little bit off the main beaten path. I kind of want to do a regular, like a Craft World Eldar story and like learn a bit more about them. But who doesn't like elves riding dinosaurs? I I really like the Exodites. I might just say I don't care. Let's just do it. Let's just do Exodites. Probably not immediately though. I got some other things I want to roll out first. Um, that I have more of an idea of what I want to do. But I'll put that in my brain bank and start thinking about what story I want to do. Orc Grey Knights. We'll see what I do with the Emperor with the Imperium. There's kind of anything I can do with the Imperium. I can do anything that happens in the Imperium, and I can do Orc stuff with the Imperium. Once we're done with the Horus Heresy, I kind of want to see Skullgrim, finding the clone of Fulgrim and Tracen's faults. Let's just be. There are definitely funny scenarios where I have the Primarchs meeting their Primarch equivalents. I think Rabute Gilliman would be so angry to meet Edbutt Ghoulie Man. It's just a stupid version of you. Why do I have a stupid version of myself? Only things Gretchen have to lose is Gubbins, and those can be easily gained back. Orc Fulgrim would be too flashy to be a proper orc. No wonder he betrayed the Emperor. You haven't heard what happened to Skullgrim. You don't know what happened yet. I haven't revealed who's all being loyal and who's not. You gotta wait. You gotta wait, Robert Keeney. You gotta wait. You love the stories, dude. Keep it up. Thank you. The Grey Weird Boys. Thank you, Alex. The Grey Weird Boys. How would Digonobs work? Would they be like blanks? In Depirium, I don't think that I'm gonna address citizens in Depirium at some point. Because people are like, Digonobs, and it's like I will put out this. They're not going to work the way they do it's Gorka Morka that has Digonobs, right? That they're one of the groups. The citizens of Depirium aren't going to be like Digonobs because it's the orcs who are trying to act imperial. So, but they're being orky as opposed to humans who are trying to be orky. So it's going to be a little bit different. But I don't want to give away more than that. But they're not going to be like regular Digonobs. Orc versions of the Months of Shame. Trolls in causing havoc in the Imperium would be funny. I like Trazen. I think he's a lot of fun. He's probably the most interesting Necron. He's the one that's easiest to tell stories about because he has a very clear motivation. And his motivation's kind of interesting and weird. The Green Knobs, it would be funny if the Primarchs betrays not be with the Primarchs in the Imperium, like Dorn Orc is a heretic Magnum. Well, you're gonna see. Things are gonna play out the way they're gonna play out in the Heresy. What is a Digonob anyway? They are humans that revere orcs. They're like humans that got stuck on this planet and they've sort of degenerated, and it's an orc planet, and they revere the strength of the orcs, and they paint themselves green and wear orky sort of armor and stuff. They're from Gorka Morka. They also live down in these tunnels, and Necrons sort of protect them weirdly. Orc cosplayers. Caiaphas Git, Hero of Depirium. I'm gonna do a Blood Axe story. Love Blood Axe Commandos. Who's gonna be? I'm brain blanking. I might do some Blood Axe stories. Blood Axes are kind of interesting because you can have them work with humans or other people that pay them. So maybe. Time for brunch. Be back. Keep up the splendid work. See you, Philip. Have fun. Pets. I was under the impression that they were some kind of mutants. Digonobs? Nope. They're just regular people. Whoa! Dennis Anderson, you are coming. This is the second time you've gone big, Dennis. Oh man. Keep up the awesome stories, dude, and stay safe out there. Thank you so much, man. I'm extremely grateful for your donations, man. Dennis, for those of you who don't know Dennis, he gave me when I did the AUG stream, the first AUG stream, he hit me with this level of donation. So thank you so much, Dennis. Do you have any requests, Dennis? Do you want to? You dropped a pile of cash. Do you got requests or voices or one of the characters to say thank you, man? Like, let me give you something for your money, pal. Oh, but thank you so much. I'll give him a chance to reply back. Hello from Germany. Love your videos. Thank you. Business is booming. Certainly hope so. I guess we know who's naming the snotlings. Yeah. Adam the story. I got Dennis Anderson. That's a good idea. I'm gonna, unless Dennis is like, no, don't do that. I'm gonna keep. Dennis Anderson is a perfectly fine imperial name. He can show up someplace. Let's see. Well, we'll see what if Dennis. We'll see what. My guy, just keep it up. Funny dance is what I'd ask for, even funnier off camera. I will not do a funny dance on camera because I don't want to reveal anything. But I will. If you guys want an off camera funny dance, you're welcome to pay for that. Thanks again, Dennis. Dennis, if you don't mind, I think it'd be a nice thing to work you in as a guardsman or as a character administrative official. Somebody will be named Dennis Anderson, and they'll be kind of cool. Someone get Dennis a hair squig, some teeth. The Orcs look like they want to take care of you. Any ideas for the Tau Empire? Like I said, I think I'm gonna try to dig into the Farsight enclaves because people say that they're really interesting. I gotta find some Tau lore that I'm really interested in. Recruit mercenaries, track for the guard. Read a story about them once. Leader of the Grots is Dennis the Menace. Maybe. Let's hear it. Off-camera funny dance. All right, you guys want some content? Some shuffling around to indicate I'm doing a funny dance. Here you go. Cha-cha. Cha-cha-cha. 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 And big finish. Ha. Eric, you missed it. You came back right in time for me to do a silly dance. I'm going to try to do this weekend to keep my word and make drawings for you. Prefer to get them via email. Email will work fine. Like if you can get it to me by email, it's just nice because I have a bunch of computers I can get that on. Recruits meeting Gitslayer. If you want to share, also Eric, if you want to share it on Reddit, just to kind of be like, hey, I'm the guy. Here's my stuff, and so I can link people and give you proper credit. That'd be cool. Recruits meeting Gitslayer and Kamara. We'll see about what happens in there. There are things that are going to happen. I'm kind of hitting my stride with Gitslayer and Kamara. Now that it's not a long chase scene. Read the book version of Fire Warrior if you want Tau lore. It has Tau falling to corn and bashing a Lord of Change's head with a pulse rifle. I've heard of that. Actually heard of that. Dance with my dogs. If I get my dogs excited, they're going to make noise. And as much as they're very cute, I don't want to rile them up right now. They're chill right now. I'm going to let them stay chill. Next time you could do a puppet show. I definitely can. It's just like reading chat and moving little dudes around in front of the camera and then not tripping over the wire. It's just more stuff to deal with, but who's to say I won't do a puppet show? I think it'd be funny if I did like my little drawings and like did one of my Orc Shakespeare readings like live on here. I think that'd be really funny. Um, Definitely do Farsight. Okay, we'll do. Hell yeah, Farsight story. Shadow puppets. What is a dog? Thought you had attack squigs. The Emperor has attack squigs. No man has dogs. Kazazel has creepy warpound canid things. I don't know. Whatever Dark Eldar have that are dogs. Dark Eldar clearly cat people. Um, Make a grot puppet. Make like a little sock puppet grot. There are some things I could do that I think would be very very silly, but I got some ideas. Q for Og. Out of all the commissars, who is your favorite commissar you have worked with? He only has two. He has Fletcher and he has Gallus. Um, I really liked Commissar Fletcher. I was really sad that he died. Um, he did not know. I think he said that he wasn't as good at doing Ogren stuff as Gallus. Um, but Gallus was my commissar for the longest, and he's still around. And uh, you know, I like them both, but I think I don't know. It's kind of hard to say that I like Gallus more than I like Fletcher because Fletcher died. But I guess Gallus is still the answer. Dark Eldar have gimps. What lived on Earth before the Emperor unified it? That might be a thing I answer in the story itself. Kazazel has pets. Oh yes, he does. Oh yes, he does. Um, to be fair, Dark Eldar has lesser Dark Eldar or human as deformed dogs. You can get the homunculus to make the thing into whatever you want it to be, and it's gonna get weird. It's super gonna get weird. I think a human defender on a Tau planet being invaded would be cool. That's kind of the way I was thinking of doing a Tau story, of having a human who like accepts the greater good to make him a bit more relatable. Because quite honestly, if I'm not an orc in the grim darkness of the far future, I'd probably want to be a human under Tau rule that stayed under Tau rule as long as I didn't get like reconquered by the Imperium and then horribly tortured. Um, Human defender being lady would be cool. Aren't the Slith the Dark Eldar equivalent of a dog? They're mercenaries. Maybe the Dark Eldar think of them that way, but they're not. They're not dumb. I think they're sentient. Maybe they think of them like the thing they think Eldar think everything are like dogs. Um, TFS style could work. Just move them around with popsicle sticks. Yeah, might do it. It just takes a little bit. Dark Eldar take multiple dogs and rip off the best parts and stitch them together into their own twisted dog. Yeah, probably. Human poodles. Yep, probably. They're probably into really weird stuff. Oh, it would be so cool if Fletcher could get a short story where he sells his life really, really costly. Um, I mean, he sort of did. He 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 went out with a bang. Uh, oh boy. Best Tau story is Shadow Sun encountering Plague Marines. It's terrifying. I bet it is. I want to get more of the Farsight enclaves looked into that. I don't know them. I know they exist and they're kind of neat, and everyone says they're neat, but I need to like read up on them. I think Tau getting crumped by Gitslay would be good. He's got to get out of Kamara first, and I think that part of the story is going to end once he gets out of Kamara. He might have more adventures if people like him, but I think his adventure is going to be getting out of Kamara, and that's kind of going to be the end of that. Have you seen the Manmoth Skyrim mod? That's what Kazazel, but smaller. I haven't seen it. I don't know anything about it. What would Orc version of Rogue Traders be like? They're freebooters. Orc versions of Rogue Traders would just be freebooters. Just working for the Emperor. Same thing. Just traders and pirates. Some of the story of the Tau being offended by their human supporters. They traveled in the warp without a Gellerfield, got attacked by demons. Oh, yeah, I heard about that. Of like, they didn't trust the humans because they had recently stopped being part of the Imperium. The Tau didn't really get what the warp was because they don't have psychic presence, and then somehow they end up getting uh, obliterated because they just end up getting eaten by demons. I forget what the whole story is. Um, yeah, that's right. Because humans have psychic power, and they believe in the greater good, which then creates an entity in the warp. Um, aren't there gene stealer orcs? Yep. Orcs are harder to infiltrate since they kind of can tell when things aren't orky. Um, Human society is a lot more vulnerable to gene stealer stuff. The Tau are pissed. They imagine the greater good that way. Oh yeah. Sorry, Tau, that humans think thoughts and they turn into things in the warp. It's just the way the warp works. I don't know how you can get mad at humans for a psychic consequence of them joining your empire. Why does Andromache want to steal the Tooth Fairy's money? I thought she'd be good on that front, considering her grandfather literally rules the world. Kids, she's like 7. She probably just like probably doesn't have a great understanding of how much money other people have or how much power she could have. Um, like literally, if you were a kid and a green spaceman showed up in your window and said, "Let's take all of the Tooth Fairy's money," wouldn't you be down for it, even if your parents were like super wealthy? Um, to have a psychic presence is very small. I think also with Psychic Awakening, they're like more. They have more of psychic presence now. Love Papa Nurgle. Nurgle loves everyone. If the human is a bonfire, Tau is a matchstick. Yeah, pretty much. Don't make me feel obligated, but thanks, man. Sounds great. Oh, yeah. No, it's not gonna be. It's not an obligation. I just appreciate that you're helping me out a lot. Like you have given me a fair chunk of change. So I'm glad you like my stories, though, Dennis. Sorry, I meant in the other stories. I'm getting mixed up now. Maybe you have short appearances in other stories. Oh, Gitslaya? Is that? Yeah, maybe. We'll figure we'll figure it out. Hey, it would be cool if Gitslayer, while doing his stuff, would um, stomp by accident or gene stealing around. I don't know how much gene stealers are in Comorot, but maybe. Not only humans but other races created GG warp entity. Story about the Tau testing scrap warp engines after beating the imps, so they don't have to so they don't have Gellerfield. Okay, that's what happened. Fair enough. Tau jealous of the superior human soul for the Emperor for humanity. Uh, hey, if you're gonna go on superiority of soul, them Eldar got some super duper duper shiny souls. Andromache wants adventure, fun, and consequences be damned. I don't think Andromache. She thinks about things the way kids do, like kind of like her whole story is very much influenced by Peter Pan, not on accident. And it's like, why do kids go to Neverland? It's because they want to go to Neverland. Captain Crump is like Peter Pan showing up and running off. It could be he's more like Captain Hook showing up and wanting to go off on an adventure. But like, yeah, the point is adventure, and the money, like wanting the money, is not really is kind of her goal, but not really. Um, I'd be down for stealing the Tooth Fairy's money, and I'm an adult. What about a Wallace and Gromit crossover? Where Wallace accidentally opens a warp rift while trying to refine cheese. Now, if this works, Gromit, we'll have all the cheese that could be psychically thought of all people. People think about cheese, it manifests in the warp, and we'll just pull the cheese right out. And then we'll have all we could ever want. Oh no! It's all gone wrong, Gromit! that's about as that's I think that's about as far as that story would go for me. Um, Captain Pan, Eldar shine only for Slaanesh, and you don't want to shine for its radar forever. Um, I think Eldar would still be tasty to any. Both Pan and Captain Crump are green because green is best. It's pretty true. Captain Hook was the hero of Peter Pan. Don't at me. Space or spess. Thanks, awesome. Og responds. In the warp, you eat cheese before it eats you. Would watch. Let's see. Yeah, I'm. Yeah, I like the little side story of Captain Crump and Andromachy. I think Guts Mangle's Boys, if there's a problem with it, it's that I have a pacing issue with it, of like, it's very episodic and it doesn't quite build the same way that my other stories do. Now that I'm kind of getting better at writing them, I like all the characters in Guts Mangle's Boys, but I think it got a little, it's getting a little too cantankerous to handle. It'll be fine. I'll be able to wrap it up, and I think people will enjoy it. But I feel like I've learned a bit about how to make a story for YouTube better by doing that one. Just ordered some parts to make a very orky Vulcan. I really like that people are inspired to make models based on my stories. Like, we've had an Og model. There was a No Man's Space Marine that got made. I got pictures from a work in progress Ultramorons. Like, they're getting made. Somebody's making all 18 of the Primorcs and the Emperor and Malkadork. It's not. I hope that gets. I'd like to see that because I think that'd be pretty crazy. I like all the fan stuff that gets made. It's really neat. We're doing crossovers. You might as well do a Homestuck crossover. I don't know anything about Homestuck. I know nothing about Homestuck other than it exists. I legit went and got some Ogrins because of Oglol. That's, again, this is what I that's really cool that people do that, but it's one of those things that I think GW doesn't understand about how to advertise their things. They push Space Marines so hard, which is fine. The Space Marines are the poster boys. They get the most love. I'm kind of okay with that. But if they want something to sell, they need to make fluff that makes it. They need to make stuff that'll make it sell. And I think Dark Tide's going to be really good for Ogren sales, and I think Og is good for Ogren sales. Treasure your ignorance of Homestuck. Take it from someone who has read the whole of Homestuck and beyond. It seems daunting. I don't know much about it, but I've been warned. Let's see. As a lad who's booting up a 3D printer, Kazazel's crew will eventually be there with me as the big room leader. Interesting. Big is fine, or slow rolling story among a bunch of shorter stories. Works well for YouTube stuff and keeps people coming back. There's a way that I do it that I think it is a couple things. It's if somebody comes in on one of your stories, if somebody comes in on one of the segments of your stories, like, the story sort of needs to be self-contained in itself, that they don't really need to know what happened before to kind of get what's happening in that section. And then there's sort of a small conflict in that story, and then you end it on a bit of some kind of cliffhanger of you want to know what's going to happen next. And that's kind of the way I do YouTube stories. What is your opinion on Gavin Bob's story? I really, really like Gavin Bob. The only thing, I actually considered doing a reading of Gavin Bob on my channel. The only thing I'm a little uncomfortable about that is there's a little bit of inappropriate content because they're with the Sororitas dealing with the Slanesh cult. and what happens after that is a little inappropriate for my channel. And there's a lot of bits that there's a bit more detail on naughty business in that than I kind of want in my channel. I'm down to do Slaanesh stuff, but kind of the bad things that happen that are, I'll just say it, that are sexual, I'm gonna keep vague because I don't want my, that's not something that I don't want it on my channel. It'll interfere with algorithm stuff, and it's also not something that I think is very interesting to be explicit about. Pulls you in and there's no getting out. Personally, I think GW has forgotten how to write anything other than Space Marines, Loyal, or Chaos. Oh, I got a story idea. The continued adventures of the Ultramarine Leandros. Yeah, I wanted to know what the heck happened to him. That story ends in such a crazy thing. I've read a little bit about what the plot is supposed to happen with him after he gets taken away by the Inquisition. Sorry, I got mixed up. Leandros is a dum-dum. It's Titus. Titus gets carted away. I don't really want to focus on Leandros. That's one of the things. Like I don't. It's hard for me to write about characters that are completely unlikable. That are like Leandros is like he worked really well. His betrayal was very effective, and it made me like Titus more. I like Titus. Anyway, no Ultramarine wants to deal with him, so the Tyranid invasion of Ultramar happens. Loses his arm and the leg, is left for dead, but he is picked up by another chapter and they adopt him. Blood Ravens probably take him, just a thing to steal. Love the Tooth Fairy story. I have a lot of fun with Andromache and Captain Crump. BGC V10, it makes the heretic in me scream, do it. Do which? Do the story idea of following Leandros. Might be a thing to do. I'll think about it. Happy Slaaneshmas. Slaanesh is the god of experiences and excess. I really believe that they should lean away from only sex of Slaanesh. Yeah, that's kind of what I don't think you should say it doesn't happen, that physical beauty and pleasure and excess, I think it's there. But I think Slaanesh is temptation, and there's a lot of things that are part of temptation aside from just sex. But I think it has a place, but I think you need to handle it carefully. I don't like sex being handled in kind of a lurid, tantalizing way. I don't want to get into the whole thing of how I want to handle it because I'm gonna mince my words, and I'd rather not. Age restriction on a video affect the algorithm governs. Could be used as a Slaaneshi topic. I don't know. I just try to keep things as broadly appealing as possible. No, the Slaaneshi story with the Sororitas, bonk. Latex is so overdone, I've developed an allergy. Slaanesh tries to seduce Wallace with infinite cheese. Oh my, that is a great deal of cheese. Just a Wallace and Gromit 40K crossover. Oh my goodness. The height of excess. They start leaning towards more positive. That's something, yes, I would actually agree. Rick Rossum, I would agree with that. They start leaning towards the more positive aspects of all the Chaos Gods, like Nurgle being nature, Khorne being honor. Yes, because I think you keep all of the horrible things about the Chaos Gods, but you have to give them something that genuinely is good about them, because it makes characters more interesting. It makes, instead of I'm an evil person that does evil things, rawr, I am a shambling pile of disease and pus that is filled with joy. It's one of the things I don't like about Death Guard is that they are not happy and jovial. I think they're like so serious and grimderp, and not grimderp, but they're so serious and they're gonna spread disease and murder everyone. You work for Nurgle. Why aren't you happy? I think they should be happy Marines. But yeah, I absolutely 100% think they should not take away of the horrifying, terrible things of chaos, but I think they need to give chaos a bit more of an appeal. That there are good sides, that you get something out of selling your soul, instead of it's just a completely bad idea. Total Warhammer 3, Sin of Slanesh Obsession. I don't know about. I know it's coming out, but I don't know that. I want to play Total War. I've wanted to play it, but it was like expensive. Have you seen the Orc Captain and Orc Busta suite made by Cromlech? That sounds pretty interesting. I'd like to see that. I have not, though. When Caiaphas Cain confronts the Demonette, that was good, I think. I think having a blanket sidekick helps. Yeah, I think there are ways to handle it. Nurgle is my favorite Chaos God. Yeah, he's mine too. I like the endurance over great pain. I like that Nurgle loves you, and that his love's like twisted and horrible. Like I think that's interesting, and they don't use that as too much as they should. Now a very obscure story. Do you know the story of the Ballad of Clint Eastwood, the Lonely Orc Wanderer from DakaDaka.com? I have not heard that one. Like imagine getting saved from certain death by an honor-bound Khornate. Yeah, like I think that'd be kind of interesting. Of like someone's gonna stab you in the back, and like dishonorable action is so appalling to a Khornate that they're gonna kill the person who's gonna backstab you. Like I think that's interesting. Basically, a lone cowboy errant knight that fights injustice. I think I heard something about that. Like, was kind of ended up being a knight errant because it was the best fighting. Being blessed with disease as a reward and perseverance for a new thing to conquer. Corners and honorable. He's survival of fittest, natural selection, basically. Tzeentch is a schemer. Yeah, but I like whatever you want to do with the Chaos Gods, they should have something that is positive about them, something that people can actually hang their hat on. Is that you're not just getting power, you're not just getting strength. Like you want to that there's something that they stand for that people can glom onto, even if they're horrible. Nurgle should have gone after the salamanders instead. Their armor was the right color after all. It would have been happier. They would have been happier. Death Guard need to stand and breathe in the air in the battlefield like a man does when standing on a freshly mowed lawn. Yeah. That's I want Death Guard. I really want to like Death Guard, but their fluff, their demeanor is wrong for Nurgle to me. Like they're Nurgle boys. Be Nurgle boys. Have fun. Karn the Betrayer will always be a favorite of mine. Karn I like Karn. Warhammer Fantasy. There was a Tzeentch champion who just generates life wherever he goes. Ooh, that's interesting. That's interesting. I can see that being very interesting. We mostly get that. I'd like that's a story in and of itself. We mostly get that from the Imperium's perspective, like you said, with Plague Marines. Not a lot of fluff in the Chaos as a force of nature department. I kind of wish GW would explore Chaos kind of as like Chaos. I like Chaos as these are the forces of nature, but because the galaxy's messed up, it's all twisted. So there's still like good in there, but everything's all so messed up that it's hard to find the good for all the bad. Word bearers, while being crybabies, have the right idea. See Chaos Undivided as a force with good and bad traits. I think the word bearers are very close to being on the cusp of being really interesting. They're fun villains, and I think if you get a good writer with them, you can do some really neat things. That's why I liked him, like a word bearer, as the bad guy in the Krieger. I thought that worked really well. As in grass and flowers grow in his footprints. That's an inch. I like that. That's very Miyazaki. I always imagine Death Guard singing songs as they fight, no matter the morale state, to scare their enemies. Still going on the Wallace and Gromit. Wallace makes a pact with Nurgle to rapidly mature his Jesus. You guys do that. You guys tell those stories. I want somebody else to make that story. I want to follow that 40K world of Wallace and Gromit verse, meddling with chaos to get something as stupid as cheese. In my opinion, the god of life and death, Nurgle, should be going after Tyranids, as they're trying to eat all life and thus end the cycle of decay and renewal. Yeah, I could see that being an interesting thing. That would be a nice turn. I think that would be something cool to do. Particularly dour and serious Death Guard Marines does stuff with a particularly happy jovial Nurgle demon. Could be an interesting story. Yeah, I've heard described that like Nurglings, like they will follow the Death Guard around, and the Death Guard sort of become like plague bearers in that they're very serious in demeanor. It's like I think that works if you have Nurglings undercutting them. I think it was in Baldamore's description of Nurglings that he talks about Nurglings are a sign of Nurgle's blessing. So like the Marines can't get rid of them. They don't want to get rid of them, but the Nurglings are like annoying and like mimic them. So the Death Guard will be like, forward, move the right flank up, blah, blah, and like giving battle orders, and the Nurglings are like, and like kind of mimicking them with like a pot on their heads. Like, I think Nurglings are hilarious. Fact: all Chaos Gods except Slaanesh have some good in them. Nope, Slaanesh does too. I'd want there to, like Slaanesh being like a patron of the arts and beauty and the like passion. There's no point in a life without passion, and that's kind of the good nugget in Slaanesh. When the Catan were shattered, all the consumed, chewed up, and whatever dissolved souls were vomited into the warp. No wonder the enslavers came out en masse. Yep, I thought that happened before, because I thought the enslavers showed up because the old ones were using the warp as a weapon, and then that caused the enslavers. Because the old ones were defeated partially because of the enslavers, and then other things broke about the universe because the Necrons destroyed the Catan. Anyways, feel that good corn is overthrowing injustice by force, etc. I think good corn is kind of like bad Hercules. If you're familiar with Hercules stories, Hercules is kind of dumb, and he's like really strong, and he's like a good guy, and he tries to do the right thing, and it ends up going badly because he also has like a short temper and he doesn't think things through. I think a good Cornate would be very similar to like a bad Hercules story of I'm here to like fight this thing and prove my strength, and oh no, somebody did something I didn't like and I went nuts and killed everyone. I think that could be kind of interesting for a Cornate. Love Nurglings and Squigs. They're very funny. Nurgle went after Mortarion and unsuccessfully after Perturabo because above all else he just wanted to see them smile. I would love to believe that. Love perfection. Yeah, that's Slaanesh stuff. Singing and dancing are a good side of Slaanesh. Yep. Slaanesh is an integral part of the greatest show on earth, the big Harlequin shabam. Have you played Daka Squadron? I have not. I don't know if I'm going to. It's just I don't have a ton of time for games. I think TTS Magnus summed up all the Chaos Gods. I like TTS Magnus. I like him a lot. He's like goofy, but he's also like encapsulates things that are the most interesting about Magnus the Red. Khorne saved Khaine. I thought Khorne was the one who broke Khaine. Khaine was the one who was the Eldar god who actually couldn't be killed by Slaanesh, and then Khorne came and broke Khaine. That's just the butcher's nails. The best Cornate, Lachaeus. Change of mind. I haven't read. I don't know that much about that lore. I feel like everyone's lore knowledge of 40K is a patchwork. and it's kind of picked up as you go along. And I'm always learning more stuff because more stuff keeps coming out, and you can never get all of it. Everyone has a favorite character that I've never heard of. But hey, we've been going for 2 hours, guys, and this is I'm feeling a lot better um, than what I did in previous ones. But I gotta admit, I'm such a baby when it comes to streaming. You have all these streamers that go on for hours and hours and hours. Like, we're gonna do an 8-hour stream. I don't know how they do that. It's so for me, it takes a lot out of me. Maybe I'm just, a weird old man who doesn't understand how the internet works. What do you thought about Warhammer Adventures? Is that that's the one with the kids, right? With like the kids story, with like all the different kids trying to fight the Necron, right? I'm deliberately making this. I'm also deliberately making this go longer because I want to have people that I don't normally see be able to get on, people that are in different time zones. So thoughts on Warhammer Adventures? I don't think it's a bad idea. A while ago, I made a children's horror YouTube series, and I'm not gonna go into it. I could link to it at some point, but it's on a channel that I can't get back into. But essentially, we did a thing where we were going to do a real, genuinely scary horror show, but have it appeal to kids. And the way you handle kid stuff is mostly you just don't show things. It's like when something gets really violent, you don't show it. When things get scary, you can make things as scary as you want. There's two rules to making good kids material out of something that's fairly dark. One is it has a happy ending. It's kids have a happy ending. I don't think that's horrible. I think you can have some happy endings in the grim darkness of the far future. The other thing is don't show the graphic violence or things that happen. Imply it. And so that's my feelings on things that are serious made for kids. Is you can do it. You can absolutely do it. There are ways to do it. That being said, everything I've heard about Warhammer Adventures is that it wasn't handled very well. I don't think it's a bad idea to make things that can be accessible to kids, because a lot of parents play Warhammer 40K and their kids might want to get in on it, but like you can't show them a lot of the most horrible stuff. So having something that still is true to the setting but gets kids involved with it isn't an inherently bad idea. It's just, yeah, it's just I don't think from what I understand, they didn't handle it right. But I haven't read it, so. 12 hours. They aren't trying to fight Necrons. They're trying to escape after Necrons blew up their planet. Like, that's not a bad setup. Anyone else unable to play tabletop because lockdown? Yeah, I've been limited because I do like playing our role-playing games, and I've been very limited in my ability to do stuff. I'm also a board gamer. Like, I like playing board games. Saw it starting, and then I noticed there was no Og. Nope. No, I mean, Og can show up. You can ask Og questions. It's not like he's not here. Og Day is Monday, though. I will always do, unless there's something crazy happening, I will always update Og on Mondays. Like Goosebumps, you rely on suspense. Yeah, Warhammer Adventures has some pretty scary, grimdark moments, like how servitors being mind-wiped criminals. Spoiler during Psychic Awakening, Ephraim Stern and her Eldar girlfriend, Keganil, Imp forces had to break out. Catan Shard helped them. Do you think some of the Catan could be benevolent? Maybe. I don't know. The way they're sort of set up, the answer is kind of no. That they're sort of this evil dark force in the universe, or they're kind of like kind of Cthulhu stuff, and I don't think their jam makes sense for them to be benevolent. Or if they're benevolent, you're getting some stuff that is not great. I think they were handled great as someone who has read them. Most people criticize it, haven't actually read it. I will admit I haven't read it. They just say Warhammer ain't for kids and leave it at that. I wholeheartedly disagree with that. Like I said, I haven't seen it. I am not against the idea. I think it could be something really good. And according to you, it is really good. It's just I am limited in the things I can consume, and I just haven't gotten that. So you're saying the Bureau of Children's Compliance needs children's management. It's the Bureau of Children's Compliance needs more work. Yeah, probably. I've thought of doing some like more children's story-esque things, but that also I have to worry about COPPA on YouTube, and I'm like, I don't want to deal with that. 8-year-old me playing with Dante's Inferno Dad got. Yeah, Monday is Og Day. Did I say the wrong thing? Monday is Og Day. Or Og Day is Monday. Whatever I said. Katana part of 40K that hasn't felt touched on nearly enough. Part of the Catan's thing is that they're a bit mysterious, and I think the more you explore them, the more they're going to lose their mystique. But maybe they could do something. I don't know. Let me put it this way. I don't know what I'd do with the Catan if I was to write a story. It's like, write a story about the Catan. I at the moment don't know what I'd do with it. For kids, having a cartoon about lesser demons of chaos, gods pranking, bullying each other might be fun. I think there's stuff you can do. I don't think there's a topic you can't make accessible for kids. Kids just need to understand the context of a lot of the stuff that's going on. You can't just show kids horrible things and then not put those things into some kind of context because it's just scary. And they have no way of handling it. The Big E did use Catan Shard to death, murder, kill the remainder of Ragdan during the Xenocides, so I guess they used it for good. I'm sure that's not gonna. It's gonna have pretty bad consequences. Yeah, you said Og Day is Monday. I think you can say it either way. Monday is Og Day. Og Day is Monday. That's still the meaning is the same. 80 Millennium Warhammer. 80 Warhammer hasn't really been touched on in general. Chaos for Kids. Come along, an Inquisitor. A kids show that has recently coming out called Amphibia had one of the characters attempt suicide. Boy. See, kids stuff can be dark. It's if you're going to do dark things in a kids show, you have to handle it correctly. Because I've seen a couple of kids shows where it's like, we're going to talk about like emotional abuse and friends doing this and like consent and then they didn't. There's a particular show, and I'm not going to go into it, but basically I've seen shows where they take on these really big important topics and then they don't handle it correctly, and that is appalling to me. Kid stuff can be dark, but you have to handle it correctly. You don't have to be tasteful if you're making things for adults, or like you can make mistakes, but like if you're making something that's designed for kids, it's really important that you handle it correctly, and that's harder. Watership Down. Watership Down is not a kid's book. Trust me and handle it correctly. I might check it out then, especially if it's like available online. I might check it out, but I will take Rick's recommendation. I will take a look at it. So I'm looking at lore over Cain and Khorne, and it looks like Khorne destroyed Cain's soul stone so that Slaanesh couldn't claim Cain's soul. I've heard a couple different things. I need to brush up on my lore. I can't wait for my kids to get a bit older so I can introduce them to the hobby. Yeah, you do want to wait a little bit just so they like understand Stranger Things in a Warhammer 40K setting. Absolutely, you could absolutely do Stranger Things in a 40K setting. Avatar had genocide in it, but it's still a kid family. Yeah. Avatar: The Last Airbender. Yeah, you can deal with big things. It's just you have to handle it correctly. Kids are impulsive, self-righteous. The sheer cruelty that they can cheer on simply because it happens to the villain is disturbing. Yes. Yeah. You gotta. That's why Ed and Eddie was one of the best kids shows. No lessons learned, no serious topics, just some knuckleheads trying to get that candy money. I know this is probably blasphemy and heresy of the highest order. I didn't like Ed and Eddie because everyone in the show were terrible people. It's just like I'm just watching these kids have bad things happen to them because they're not very good people, and everyone else around them is worse people. I can take a little bit of that, but I know a lot of people really like Ed and Eddie, but I didn't care for the show. When you have time, check out Death of Hope Part One, Anarchy Reigns. It's worth your while. I'm going to go through this chat, and there's a bunch of things you guys have listed that I'm probably not going to remember when I'm done with the stream, but I'll check it out afterwards. At the end of the day, the greater demons collect the lesser demons. Nurglings jump into a great unclean one's chest cavity. Oh, like a daycare center. On a slightly less Augie note, what is the story behind the No Man figure currently on display? Also, is that a rune bind on the hammer? It was drawn for me. I actually requested it. It was originally a character from a role-playing game that I was in. It is additionally funny because the skull, hammer, shield person, that character is actually female. So I thought it was a funny thing to make my No Man, because that's actually a female character. And she is the goddess of the forge and industry. She's a bit like the Omnissiah, but she also has some nature aspects. But she's also she's kind of a goddess of pollution, among other things. But yes, it's a runebind. The artist I commissioned to draw it has some. They have some Norse religious leanings. They have some Norse religious beliefs, and so I don't know what it means, but I recognize one of the runes, the one that kind of looks like a diamond. I know that the meaning behind it is that it's like a seed, or at least, yeah, that there's growth, and she's sort of like growth in industry. Um, um, I, however, am a man. Heresy Detective Double D was a good guy though. Extreme Heresy. Yeah, sorry about that. I know people really like Ed and Eddie. I ain't hating on y'all for liking it. Like what you're gonna like. I didn't like watching it as a kid. I need to remember the Wallace's the Wallace Heresy. A show called Nurgle's Guide to Poxes and Parasites. Be good edutainment style show. I think that it'd be really funny if you had like Nurgle PSAs. Like, I think GW, if they wanted to make some, if they, loan out Nurgle as a Nurgle tells you like what not to do, kind of a Goofus and Gallant thing. It's like, make sure you go outside without. Make sure when you're inside visiting sick friends, don't wear a mask. Nurgle, make sure Nurgle's blessings spread to all. And then have like a salamander come in and hit him with a hammer or something, and have little funny Nurglings circling around his head like stars or little birds in cartoons. Istvan Cheese Massacre, Fresh Prince of Terra. Oh boy, oh boy. What if a 40k lore nerd got dropped in the Great Crusade? Love it, heard of it. I have not. It sounds interesting. Like I said, I'm going to go through this and try to pick out, find things that I should read. So she's the Omnissiah Nurgle role in the one. Kind of. She's not really. She doesn't make people sick, but she does. There's a whole thing of she is married to a god of the wilds, and they do care about each other. And kind of the tragedy of it is, as she grows in power, she's diminishing her husband's power. So there's like that tension that's always going to be between them. There's a theory the cul-de-sac is purgatory and all the kids are dead in Ed and Eddie. I think I've heard that theory for like every. There's always the theory that everyone's dead. Everyone's actually dead. Good news, mage sketch of Orc Guard. Just need to pencil it in now. Cool. Eric, wherever you want to share that, if you share it on the Reddit, people will be able to see it. I'm gonna if I I will try to use. I like to use fan art for things, as long as people are fine with me using it, because then I don't have to kind of get generic 40K art. I can get specific art. Um, Eventually, I want to make enough money doing what I do to pay for artists to do things. Because yeah, I would love to have things specifically made. I think ultimately I will eventually slow down my production so I can put more attention into them, but I can't really do a lot of specific stuff without commissioning art for it. Um, More likely inspiration from Sabaton's song. I don't think I've ever watched it. See the Ingwaz, Kunaz, maybe Issa. Um, I used to know the Norse runes better. I'm off of it. I'm off of it. Nurgle COVID PSA. Yeah, I'd love that. I think it'd be funny. So in general terms, fertility in industry and ice rain, more like it. She was rain industry and like prosperity. She was also like she's kind of like Vulcan combined with the Omnissiah, combined with yeah, Rogaldorn, Vulcan, Omnissiah kind of person. Um, Ever heard of the Istvan drop site massacre? Drift site massacre? I have not. Think we'll ever get a Baltimore crossover on this channel? I'd like to. I have messaged Baltimore, but I'm not going to bug him. If he wants to, that's cool. If he's not, that's cool too. Um, Dennis Anderson is That is the crossover we need. I really wanted. I'd like to. I really like Baltimore's stuff. He is my favorite, but like I said, he has his own life. He has his own channel. He does not need to drop everything he's doing to come and uh, deal with and like interact with my channel. Um, that theory got disproven when the kids go back to school later in the episodes in the movie. They look for Eddie's brother. So Ed Evil. I'll give it a listen. Might be reading the bind rune wrong, but that's always a possibility. Like I said, I knew it better before, and I've just not been. I used to do more stuff with. I used to be more familiar with the runes, and I haven't been doing stuff with them recently. No man understands. No man. No man. Um, no, the inspiration of the name is entirely Odyssey. Now maybe Sabaton's is almost certainly using that idea. Um, but no, the reference is the Odyssey. Um, and also part of it is I want to remain pretty anonymous on the internet while I'm doing my thing. I do not, like I said, don't want people to know who I am. Don't want people to recognize me. Don't want to become YouTube famous outside of what I do on the channel. Yeah. Did I make it? Yep, you're still Morgan. You made it. Morgan Freeway, you're here. I'm going to be on for. We've been going on for a good amount of time. I think this is my longest stream so far. I think we've broken it, so but we'll see what's going on. Baltimore does have some larger projects planned that requires other voice actors, so it's not outside the realm of possibility that he might contact you for something. If he wants me, I'm down. I mean, I would love to get involved in his Cronan Dakunin series. His orc stuff is so silly. I'm occasionally envious of what he comes up with for dumb stuff for the orcs to do. His Night Before Thinkmas was so great, and his most recent one with the Killicans. If you guys haven't seen it, or if you guys haven't listened to it, I highly recommend it. I highly recommend like everything Baltimore does, with pretty much without reservation. Voldemort has that voice is juggernaut when it comes. Yes, his natural speaking voice I'm envious of because I can't do it. I can't get that quality to my voice, or at least maybe if I worked at it I could, but I don't know. how he has that raspy quality to his voice. Like I can't naturally sound like that. Fairly certain that in a year or two from now he'll have more subs than most channels. Probably, I have no doubt. He really kind of shook the way I thought about 40K things, because I sort of picked things up and like clicked on things that I sort of saw were interesting, but I wasn't super subscribed to anything or like committed until I saw Voldemort and like what he did. And he honestly, he inspired this channel. So I owe a lot to Voldemort. Make sure to stay hydrated. I might go get a thing of tea made to get myself some honey. Might take a break in a little bit and get that started, and then pop back up and get my finished tea. Anonymity is a virtue. Let your work speak for itself rather than trying to create a cult of personality. I want, like, there's a little bit of a cult of personality that is created. Like, doing live streams, you guys kind of get to see a little bit of me. And yeah, I'm being performative while I'm doing this, and I don't want you guys to think I'm a cool guy who earns your support. But yeah, I get what you mean though. Like I don't want to be a persona. I don't want people to follow me because I am this YouTube person. I'd rather have you guys support me because you like my content. But you know, a little bit of interaction I think is fun. Getting to know each other a little bit. Futhark combinations get very confusing. They can. I know that some people who argue that blind runes are in fact meant to be easily interpreted. Snack bathroom break wouldn't be a bad idea during a long stream. What about any opinion on Major Kill? You were not cool, you were sweet. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Eric. Don't worry about that. We'll all follow you because regular off, Chris. I might do I think snack and bathroom might not be a bad idea. Yeah, it's a bit of a long stream. I want to get some tea. A bit of a break might not be a bad idea. So I'm gonna pop off for just a little bit. I'm going to come back. Let me answer the question on Major Kill, and then I'm gonna head out, and I'll be back in like a couple minutes. Any opinion on Major Kill? I think when Major Kill, I think this is true of anybody that does lore stuff. When people are genuinely excited about things, like when they genuinely like things, that's when I like Major Kill. I don't really like him as much when he talks about things that are dumb in Warhammer. I don't think his little Timmy joke is funny, but the people who subscribe to him have voted and said that they like the ongoing joke. I think I'm like, get on to like what you're saying, but I actually have his recent things. Like he did a thing on the Ultramarines of why they don't suck anymore, and I like to listen to him when he talks about something that he's passionate about, that he really likes. I used to not care for him, but I've come to like him more recently because he's been doing more of that kind of content. I like listening to people be passionate about things, but I don't like people being fake passionate about stuff. Or like, anyways. All right, I'm gonna go get some water. I will return. Talk amongst yourselves. Enjoy yourself, chat. I'll be right back.
People are arguing about sausages.
Hey everybody. Ugh. Oh, we got. You guys did talk while I was gone. This is page after page of sausage, but. I do not. This is. Guys are ridiculous. It is the best kind of tea. I like chai tea. Chamomile's good though. I'm just scrolling through all of these sausage comments. Yeah, I'm having chai tea right now and getting a little something to eat. Yeah, green tea is really good. I like green tea, but I like tea in general. But I think I'm slightly more of a coffee person. But coffee is not good for my throat. Tea and honey. Tea and honey is very good for when I do these things. How are we doing? We have 29 people still here. I wondered if a bunch of people would leave while I was doing my break, but we still have a fair number of people. And we've been going on for 2.5 hours, so that's not too bad. Let's see. Could Friday be Lesser Og Day? It kind of is, because I've done a bunch of live streams where Og shows up. I might do... So my structure for how I do things is Saturday I work, Sunday I rest, Monday is Og Day, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday are either are different series. Friday is I do something short, which can be an Og thing or can be something else, and then I get ready to do my stream. So that's kind of my... Oh, some Og. Yeah, I can bring an Og out. You guys can just talk to him for a while. Hey everybody, it's Og again. What do you want? I'm gonna have No Man tell me like all this stuff that you're saying. But what do I think of sausage? It's pretty good. Depends on what it's made out of. There's a lot of different kind of animals all across the Imperium. You like it when Kazazel comes on the stream? He can come on if you guys want. Hey, how's y'all doing? Well, I'm doing good. Getting ready to find out what this big plan is. That the Inquisitor wants to do. Merry birthday, Miss Og. Yeah, I decided today was my birthday. Because I don't know what my birthday is. But I'm probably going to forget what day this is. And I'll just pick another day to be my birthday. What kind of sausage is your favorite kind of sausage? You know. Tasty kind of, I don't know. You know, all kinds of stuff. Turns out Friday can in fact be Lesser Og Day. I guess so. I mean, I'm always here. KFC or Burger King? I'm endorsing people now. They got pay me if they want me to tell which is better. But the answer is Burger King. So you recently made an Iron Hand video. How was it working with audio programs? I'm just using the same thing. I'm using a free, cheap program, and I'm doing the best of it as I can. If I get more money, I'll do something more elaborate. But my current setup, I would need to spend a lot of money in order to, or at least I'd have to spend some money to get a better setup as far as audio stuff goes. Oh yeah, Brutus is in the background. He gets real excited because he can be like a god dog. 12th February Og. Well, okay. And Comet saw his canine in the background. Yep. Oh no, I don't know you. That's Gaddis's. You like how I bring out the wholesome parts of 40K? If you don't have something to fight for, what's the point? Things can get really bad, but there's no reason to like give up because this is all there is. Happy birthday, thank you. Kenya, you'll have a party. Yeah, they got really excited about something. You'd like to imagine that Og is the real No Man and No Man is a character created by Og. Is Og secretly a giant super genius? Yep, I'm a bonehead, I'm a super genius. Everything is my plan. Gaz wasn't making dog noises. Brutus was making dog noises. Oh, they feed me well. I gotta eat a lot. Ogwins eat a lot. Yeah, it's not too bad. Hospital food is not great. But, food is food. You gonna draw me next? Orc guy's almost done. Oh, you did an orc before you did me? Oh, but thank you. Oh, biggest boy. I don't know if I'm biggest Ogren. I'm pretty big. I don't know if I've ever. I think Biff was a little bit taller than me, but I'm pretty tall. Biggest and bestest. I try. I really do. Best food is free food. I don't remember ever had to pay for food. When I was back on my own planet, we mostly just called their own food. I got it somehow. I don't remember ever having a lot of money or having a chance to spend it. Even though I think I get some money as a guardsman, but my last link at you. So yep, have fun. I'm thinking of trying to go for maybe another half hour. Depends on what you guys are interested in. I can go a little bit longer. I can cut it short if people are kind of done. Is Commissar Gallus a figment of Ogg's imagination as a result of the bonehead procedure, like in the Ratatouille movie? It would have to be a very, very, very complex delusion for things to work out with a lot of people talking to and about Gallus without disrupting Ogg's delusion. If you go longer, I might get a live. You might get a live reaction drawing. That might be pretty cool. Eric, you got an ETA, like not to like rush you or anything, but how long do you think? Because that might be a good way to finish that might be a good way to finish the stream is to kind of show it. Just kind of put it up in the link for everybody to see. I think it'd be kind of cool. Oh, absolutely. I'm not gonna. I was planning at least in going to the next hour. So, to be perfectly honest, I would love some lovable, silly content where Gallus and Og do everyday stuff, and Gallus has to keep Og from getting into mischief. I might do that. That might be like a nice one-off thing to do, because essentially, yeah, I think Og might be a little bit like the Depurium in that I can do things that are kind of one-off things. Have you heard the EMP music stuff? I used EMP. They did the music for I asked permission to use their music for Demaniacs. That's theirs. The song about Law is EMMP. I really like EMMP. Alex Warner, hi Nomad, love the Og the Oberyn videos. Thank you. First rule about Oberyn Club is we can't count higher than one rule. I thought first rule about Oberyn Club is don't get hit by the Oberyn Club. Like the first one where Gallus has to get into the Crassus. Yeah. I mean, I did that a little bit because you have the Oberyn singing the Emperor is great. Og talking about why the Astra Militarum is great. Then you have the Og getting Gallus to get into just being silly and flipping the script for no reason. Yeah, I have done that, and I am probably going to do that more. Yeah, I think there's a bunch of stuff I could do that are just like sweet little one-off things with Og because he's a well-liked character. Well, there's both. There's so you talk about Og getting into the Crassus. Sorry, there is one where Og has to get into the Crassus, and then I recently did one where Gallus doesn't want to go into the transport, and it's not canon. It's just being silly, but that totally exists. It's because the first one is Commissar convincing Oberyn to get into the transport. The other one is Oberyn convincing Commissar to get into the transport. Sorry, gotta get stuck by a bunch of needles, allergy shots. See you, Major Payne. Head on out. Thanks for coming. Hope you had fun. I feel weird eating on stream. Just like one of the VTuber girls. I eat on stream and people just throw money at me. Yep. That's been an interesting phenomenon, the VTuber thing. But, you know, not the strangest thing that's ever happened. If you make an OG episode where OG is is on an honor funeral or a big parade, that's certainly something that can happen. Maybe after everything gets wrapped up, we'll I don't want to give things away, but like I said, I'm going to go back through the chat and jot down all the stuff that people have suggested, because it's so much stuff, and I'm not taking notes at the moment. Never understood why people watch what other people eat. Well, I know that part of the mukbang thing is you're watching a train wreck. Like, it's kind of gross, and it's like the spectacle of it. But I think, and I don't want to get super into it, but I think that's a bit strange. You can't hear munching? Okay, cool. I don't have a super sensitive mic down here with this setup. I enjoyed having Gallus back as much as the next guy. I can't help but feel a bit emotional intensity was lessened with Gallus coming back. It was a risk that I took. Like, that was something I wasn't sure about when I wrote the story, was Gallus going to come back? And it was... I think it was enough of... I kind of think it was enough of a catharsis for him to come back, to kind of... without feeling cheap. It was a risk I took. It was something I thought about, and I ultimately decided that was what I wanted to do. Because it was like everything was pretty terrible in that final battle, and we lost a lot of people, but it's sort of like you get a little something back. And I think Gallus is just an interesting character, and he only had 3 episodes that he was in before he died. 4. He died in the 4th episode. Quote unquote died. No, man. No, I'm not doing that. I don't want to get paid to eat. I do not want to be part of that spectacle. I do not. Mukbang is Slaneshi tradition, pretty much. I have to eat. All right, see, Alex. Have a good one. Non-perpetuals might have some back. Non-perpetuals have some back from worse in 40K. I can understand all that. Yeah, it's. I don't think it's a bad thing that Gallus came back, but I do understand that it does sort of lessen the impact of his initial death. But it was also sort of an opportunity for Og to kind of come into his own, that Og would have to deal with a different circumstance and not have the safety of Gallus as much. When Gallus, you left it vague enough to leave the door open for his return, and as I've said in comments section, Og the Ogre is space opera. That's big compliments that it is a dramatic, huge spanning kind of story that is able to be a space opera. I certainly didn't think it was going to be a space opera. I thought it was going to be kind of a low-level war story, but told more like people have also called 40K Forrest Gump, which he sort of is, down to Lieutenant Dan losing his legs. Also, what do you think about Belisarius' call singing "You're Welcome" pitch? I'm It's funny. I end up singing a lot more than I intended to on this channel because I don't think I'm a very good singer. But I wouldn't say no. I think that'd be something that would be really good if I got it animated, which I think would be a later thing where I have a more reliable income stream. We'll see. Like with getting Stringstorm, like I like Stringstorm. We'll see what they do. Why is it that making any narrative that has orcs in it usually a recipe for success? Because it's really easy to write orcs. You sing good in a choir. Yeah, you kind of need. If I sing a bunch of times myself, it'll. If I layer my voice, it sounds okay. But I am not. I wouldn't call myself pitch deaf, but I'm not a professional singer. Yeah, but Bob Ross, orcs. The reason orcs are a recipe for success is because it's not hard to write them, for me at least. I know what makes them funny. I was actually part of a LARP for a long time, and I played an orc. So I have a long history of off-the-cuff funny things that orcs say, and it's yeah. Writing orcs is kind of like writing Three Stooges. You make them have to try to do something, and then you make them come to the stupidest conclusions about how they're going to accomplish the thing. And that's an orc story. That's it. Orc versions of sea shanties, that could be interesting. I think that'd be kind of fun. Shanties and like folk songs and like things that don't require great singing to sound good might be a thing I do. Stringstorm made it. Though having Fletcher and Og going through pieces of the back together could also be an interesting direction. Yeah, it was a choice I decided to make, and I don't regret doing what I did with Gallus and Fletcher and how I handled who was going to make it and who wasn't. I think it worked. I think it worked. Stringster just made a song about Titans. Ooh, I want to check that out. Orc pirates singing sea shanties. Definitely, I could definitely do that. Ra Endymion, you're back. Yes, you are. Welcome back. Digging Hobbs, indeed. I see experience in the field. I'm back. I'm Dad. Eric Dunn, email is on its way. Okay, can I post that on here? Can I post a? I just post a picture directly onto here. Let me see if I can do that. I'm going to try to get to. I'm going to try to pull up my email, so you're going to hear me clicking a bunch. But let me see if I can pull that up and get that. So get into my Nomad account. So I'm super curious. So this is Orkgar, I believe. Ooh, that's really cool. Hold on. Let's see if can I get this? Let me see if I can get this out of here. Okay, 1 second. Let me see if can I actually post this into here. It's not letting me. I'm trying to figure out how I can I just want to post a picture. Can I post a picture in chat? I don't think I can. Unfortunately it's really cool, and I don't think there's a way for me to do that. I think I could post a link if you put it up on Reddit. If you put it up on the Reddit, the No Man Reddit section. It looks really cool. I like the look of it is much nicer than what I did for my kind of crude drawing. Yeah, unfortunately I can't do it. Eric, would you, if you put it up in the, I don't think I can. Nope. I'm trying to figure out how to do it. It won't let me. I can't put it in the chat, which is dumb. Okay, so I will link. I'm going to pull up. I will link to the Reddit page, the No Man Reddit, and then it'll pop. I can put it up there, and you guys can see it. Uno momento. I'm working. Okay, here's the Reddit link coming up. Okay, I'll do it. Yeah, I can put it up if you want me to do it. So this is the link to what the. So that's the link to the thing. Let me go ahead and put this up on. Create a new post. What the heck's going on? All right, I'm going to get the thing. Eric, I'm going to put your name. I'm going to put your name on the thing to credit you. What the heck? Why isn't it doing it? Why it's not letting me? I don't understand. I just dragged and dropped to upload. It's not doing it. This is being stupid. This is really dumb. Eric, do you mind putting it up? I'm super sorry. For whatever reason, it's like I'm clicking on post the thing, and it's like literally just not posting it. I'm clicking on upload, clicking on the picture, and it just won't appear. Yep, I'm old. I'm old and stupid. It's not like I haven't used Reddit before. I haven't put stuff up on there. It's just I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't know what's going on. Post to the Discord. I might do that. I'm not gonna muck with it now. I don't want to be clicking through the internet while I'm doing a live stream the whole time. I want to be able to talk to you guys and like respond to stuff. Okay, so it's up now. You guys can go check it out. I think it's quite cool. I really like the. I don't know. It's not like I haven't posted pictures on Reddit before. It just didn't want to do it. I kept clicking upload and clicking on the thing, and it was like, "Yep, you sure did click that." Thing isn't coming up. I can't let you post it though. Whatever. I didn't say my prayers. I didn't burn the incense. I didn't use the appropriate oils. It's no good. No good. Just want to say that your work is fantastic. Not only that, but the pace of releases is absurd. I thought you were British, but I guess most of the 40K universe is. Would you work with GWs if offered? Depends on what they wanted me to do. Like, I have a career path that I'm eventually going to go into. It's what I'm in school for, and I will eventually be doing that. This will probably eventually get regulated to a hobby where I'm not upgrading every single weekday and doing a long stream. This might eventually this is going to probably be put on the back burner as I'm doing the thing that I really want to do. But I really like doing this. It's fun, but I don't think it's going to do my job and be my job forever. But if GW offered me to do stuff for them, it would depend on what they wanted and for how long and how much of how good it is to work with them. But yeah, if they offered me something, I'd certainly seriously consider it. It would be pretty neat, especially if they wanted me to do voice acting. Like that would be something I absolutely could do. Yeah, I typed in the title, picked the image to upload. I named it. It was like this is Orc Garb by Eric Rayner, and here it is. And then it wouldn't upload. So I do not know. I don't know if it's in the wrong format or I didn't name it something correctly or I do not know. But best content is usually from hobbies anyway. Um, yeah, I do feel like occasionally I don't think any of my content's bad. Like, I don't think there's too much stuff that I'm like, I don't like. Maybe there's some things that I thought weren't a great idea, but I don't think I am putting out anything that's bad. I do think I occasionally put out something that is a bit of a filler thing of like, I'm going to do something short because I'm out of intellectual juice, but I feel like I need to keep up this rate of content creation. Might head off soon, but just want to let you know, as a writer, I understand the love that one can have for one's characters. I too had characters that were equally given the equally plausible option of life, death. I have chosen life. Yep. I could have let Gallus die, but I did ultimately decide that having him come back would be a pretty satisfying moment, and good, and ultimately good for the story. GW are on Control Freaks, their IP. That's not a criticism, but if you're going to work for them, it's all on their terms. Some like that, some don't. I certainly have worked with people that had very specific demands on what they wanted from me, and I don't mind that. I would be, yeah. It's sort of I would depend. It depend on what they wanted from me and if I was willing to do it or not, and I would be very careful about any kind of contract thing that I would be required to sign to work for them or whatever it is. Also, you can say that you love him, Gallus. I really like. I love Gallus. I love Og. I love my characters. I do. But more than my characters, it's like I think I love my stories because they're kind of the whole thing. And I don't want to get so involved in my characters that I'm unwilling to let bad things happen to them. It is all about what's going to be good for the overall story. And I've seen good stories get wrecked because the heroes got like the author liked the heroes too much. We'll see. We'll see. All right, Old Man Skeletal. I'll be off. Might do my own little orc stuff sometime. See ya. Farewell. It's not that bad for GW to be hardcore gatekeepers. Last thing we need is female space marines or some kind of heretical nonsense. I still don't think. I just kind of said this is like I think Primaris Marines are a dumber idea than female space marines, and I don't hate Primaris Marines. I wouldn't hate female space marines, but I kind of don't want them to do it because it would be a giant kerfuffle. It would be the line that's drawn in the sands for the culture war to make its way into Warhammer 40K. And I don't want, like, that's why I don't want it. Not because you can't do it or it couldn't be done well. It's just that it won't be done well and it'll just be a problem. Krieger was the best. Yeah, the Krieger was definitely something I planned from the beginning to die. Sometimes the character name from die. Yep. Das Vidania, Auf Wiedersehen, Skeletal. If if Og dies, I riot. I know. That's one of the many things I've gotten from a bunch of different people is they do not want Og to die. He will just have to wait and listen and find out. If you love your characters as a writer, then beat them with a stick. To have an unflinching warrior die a glorious death only brought back would in fact be a disservice to the character. It depends. Like I don't feel bad for doing Gallus that way, but if undoing a character's death cheapens their sacrifice, that's something. But Gallus hadn't completed a character arc and kind of fulfilled his purpose in the story. He kind of died in the happenstance of just violent combat. Krieg was amazing, thank you. Sisters of Battle is the female superhero equivalent, which is I'm fine with, but the Sisters of Battle also don't get the love they should. Like, I like the Sisters of Battle, and I don't think they get enough attention. If Space Marines get to be female, I want there to be Misters of Battle. I wouldn't mind there being more like ecclesiarchy dudes, like weird priesty guys. Like I'm actually kind of okay. Not with like Misters of Battle is obviously a tongue-in-cheek sort of thing, but I wouldn't mind more ecclesiarchy units. I don't understand why people are mad about Primaris until they realize that 1 million Space Marines in stasis for 10,000 years while the galaxy is in constant at war. Yep. Is weird. No need for like I don't know. It's no need for female Space Marines. No, I don't. I'm not like endorsing the idea. It's just there are so many worse ideas that actually have happened in the 40K universe. I wasn't talking about Gallus anymore. New to go by. If they went females with bolters, get them to play Sororitas. Actually, I was thinking about a story I wrote years ago, which a character I loved dearly died, or I had him killed. Yeah, I mean, there are definitely times where you want to kill people off. I absolutely, positively went into the Krieger with he's going to die, and he did die. And I don't have a problem killing off characters, because to me, I don't know, like characters exist within their stories, and because their stories can be read more than once, they're not dead. They're not gone forever. Sort of like Achilles or Hector or great heroes. It's like their stories end with them dying, but it's not like the story goes away. Vladislav and Blockhead died, but I don't think of them as dead. They just died at the end of their story. Game of Thrones has proven that you can randomly kill off popular characters and have it work. Game of Thrones also, at the end, they had killed off too many characters, and I had a hard time caring about any of them. They kept trying to introduce new ones, and I became numb to them killing people off. If they want a female Space Marine, sentence them to a week-long execution with summary kick to the jaw. Like I said, I don't want it to happen, but because it would make such a mess. Like people would be mad about it, and that's more of the problem than the actual concept being impossible or bad. I don't want it to happen because I don't think it would be done well, and I don't think people's response to it would be good, and I'd rather it just not happen. Sisters of Silence, they received their love rations from GW? I don't think they have. I don't think I want Sisters of Silence too. Like, I want more female. I'm down for more female characters. Like, I think some of the best characters in the lore are female. Like, there's a bunch of really interesting characters. Achilles is in fact still here because he died, and Game of Thrones is worthless. Game of Thrones didn't know, like, I think that the TV show kind of illustrates it that George R.R. Martin didn't know what he was doing. And the problem was created because he killed off everyone and made a giant mess. right before the White Walkers are going to descend, and there's not a good way for everyone to kind of drop this incredibly, like, stop doing this incredibly damaging war before winter comes. Honestly, even if the White Walkers didn't come, given all the things that Martin had set up, um, everyone's still gonna like frickin' die because nobody has any food. Um, he wrote himself into a corner, I think. It's just the lore for me and already having a sisters battle. My favorite RPG character. Like I said, I just think there's so many dumber things in the lore than female Space Marines. Um, um, the puppies came downstairs. I would prefer some amazing Sisters of Silence and Sisters of Battle story. Yes, I actually would. I absolutely would. I would rather have enrich the female units they have than try to make some weak point. You're right about GOT killing off too many. Too much of a good thing ruins the balance is key. With Blockhead and Vladislav, you can still use them in earlier life stories. Yeah, it's like, I don't know. I'm going to let them lie for the moment, but if I get a neat idea for a story, I could go back to them. But their story was a kind of short, simple one, which is mostly them butting heads. Like, that's kind of what's interesting about them. If you remove either one of them from the context of each other, I'd have to kind of figure out what they're about, aside from just being a war boss and a commissar. Then again, do not woke my Grimdark. There are already very interesting, strong females in 40k. It's not whether it's woke or not woke. It's I don't want the fight between the woke and anti-woke people. I don't want that. That's going to be the problem. Not that there's something inherently wrong with female Space Marines. Like I said, there's some goofy things that happen in the lore. All right, Niels, thanks for stopping by. So long. You actually call the Kriegers male, some are female. I don't know how it works with the whole clone thing. I'm not sure. I've enjoyed it even though it's sorely Augless. Well, how about Augs wishes you farewell? Bye, Niels. See ya. I'm sorry I wasn't here more, but have a good day. Do stuff for the Emperor. Yeah, bye. I think it's for there's a thing that I have in my head, which is like my rule about doing anything. There is no such thing as a bad concept. There's only bad execution. You can do any kind of story about anything and do it well if you know what you're doing. There's nothing inherent about a female Space Marine that is bad. But what I'm worried about is that it's not going to be executed well. And it's not going to be executed well, and it's going to be not executed well in the pattern that a gajillion things that are pushing a certain kind of agenda and worldview are doing, of like having bland female characters that can kick everyone's butt, that are kind of like that every single female that female characters now becoming like bad Superman episodes where it's like, well, Superman's just gonna beat everybody up and that's it, and there's no challenge in anything, and no, they don't want anything that's interesting, and they're just good at stuff. I don't care. That's kind of my feelings on the female Space Marine thing. Yeah, Latara Saren is really cool. I like Latara Saren. Would not mind female model heads for Space Marines. I just don't want lore justifications for them. It's a big galaxy. There's a lot of stuff. The galaxy is big enough that you can kind of ignore anything you don't like. Lore about female Space Marines in a nutshell is not being possible due to gene seeds, not working with their chromosomes. That's all. It's not like you couldn't write some reason why that doesn't count. Belisarius Cawl did something. Fabius Bile did something. So there's a bunch of different things that could happen to justify it, and that's not what it's about. It's not about the ironclad rule that the lore has, because the lore changes all the time. Do you think they're slowly pushing female transhumans with Fabius Bile stories? The current with female hero writing is there's no character development, no cover. That's a huge issue. It's a thing. Like, one of my favorite characters is Clary Starling, and I like her more than some of the other people that are like the 80s. Clary Starling and Ripley in the first Alien movie. And the reason I like both of them is because they are able to overcome things when they're not like crazy extraordinary people. Like, they're smart people, they're talented people, but they can't solve their problems by punching them. They have to solve their problems by being clever and smarter than everybody else. And that's something that I liked. It's like female characters can't be vulnerable anymore. And it's like, you don't have anything to do. There's nothing to, yeah, I don't know why bland female heroes is like the thing everyone wants, or the thing some people suddenly want or are pushing. Genes that are altered to work for them. No, man, you said it earlier, each part is easy for the reader. Each part has to be easy to hook the reader in, to have that progression. Game of Thrones didn't have that. It crashed the mains plot. P.S. Kriegs are clones. Vitae wombs. I think that's part of what ultimately sank Game of Thrones. Though technically, it could be salvaged in the books. Do a Hannibal Lecter impression? I can give it a shot. It's not one of my big ones, but let me see. Hello, Clarice. Fly away, little starling. Fly, fly, fly. That's I bet if I focused a bit, I could do better. Because I've done Anthony Hopkins before. My brain is okay. I did okay. Buddhist man, take care. See you, man. It's 2 set in stones for me. Astartes. Well, so this is my argument for why Astartes are male and should stay male, is because thematically they're like hyper masculine. That's like what they are. They have these big, huge shoulder pads. They're big, huge, powerful dudes. They have big guns. They're paragons of manliness, and that's kind of their theme. It's like being a man in the grimdark future is, yeah, it's just like that's what they are, is they're hyper masculine. And it's like, why do you want to make a female character fit in with these hyper masculine characters? And I think that it just kind of lessens the impact of what a Space Marine is. Again, it's not the worst idea ever. It just will be handled like the worst idea ever. An orc that turns out to be female. Again, orcs are also hypermasculine. Orc females would be, again, orcs are just so. I want the duck boom. Want to go real fast. Like, they're so exaggeratedly masculine that I don't know what the heck a female orc would be, aside from the joke model of the orc cheerleader from Blood Bowl that I've seen floating around. And I guess that's a fair point, that it's like I think female orcs would be especially silly because they're asexual, because they reproduce by spores. But it's just a lore reason. Why can't you have female orcs? It's like, well, because orcs are ugly. um, do you have any 40k? I suggest Farseer. There's a bunch of things I need to look at, and like I said, I'm going to go through chat after this and look through all the suggestions. I've gotten a bunch of stuff that I want to look through. Bile's daughter Melusine, the closest thing to female space marine. Fulgrim went after her. Why not asking? Why did I not think of asking for impressions? Christopher Walken. Let's see. Well, if anyone ever came up to you and said, "Hello, I would like to be a friend," then I would make sure to be their friend as well. Christopher, I'm running a little raw on my throat. I was okay. I can do a better Christopher Walken if I'm prepped for it. I haven't done one for a long time. Luke Skywalker is great due to his flaws. He can't defeat Vader. Yeah. The struggle is really interesting. Not how orcs reproduce. Can't read that. Just about female hero characters in general at the moment. I think Captain Marvel. Yeah, it's like don't make this bland, all powerful character who has nothing that she struggles with. It is a good idea. Blood Bowl or cheerleader. It is a thing that already exists. You can look it up, and it's as horrifying as you think. If you wanted to do orc females, I would want it to just basically be an orc in a wig. My mental image is like have like really gaudy lipstick, really terrible looking wig, and a cigar sticking out of her mouth. Like, I think that would be funny, but I don't know what you'd do with it other than it's silly. That's about it. Yo, orc bar maidens though. Female orc would be hyper traditionally angry housewife. Stop that fight and get back to house and help with the grots. I think that'd be kind of it. Is like orcs are also they're essentially a classist joke. They're making fun of lower class people in England, and so probably if you had a female orc, it would be the female equivalent of whatever the negative stereotype is. The factory worker's wife who just nags him all the time. Squeeze out a grot for the lipstick. Yep, the soccer hooligans. That explains why they have such bad teeth. Yeah, it's a thing that's true in America too. It's like if you just make fun of poor people and not a particular race, that's like fine. You can make fun of poor rednecks, that's fine. You can make fun of farmers, that's fine. You can make fun of white trash, that's fine. Again, not trying to get political here, but it is sort of there are sort of like there are always going to be culturally acceptable groups of people to make fun of who are beneath you. And try Ephriel Stern. Love her and her Harley Boy. Yeah, I Ephriel Stern is like I kind of got into some of her lore, and it's kind of nutty. The female orc would be Vicky Pollard off of Little Britain. Haven't seen it. Female orcs form to nag the other orcs. Then Gork and Mork see too many boys mucking up. When that'd be kind of funny. Of like you just have female orcs with like rolling pins, driving any orcs that are mucking about still in camp when all the other boys have gone off to war. Like I think that'd be very silly. Wait the day when I come back and be able to make fun of everyone and everything. Probably going to be a while. Before Critical Theory, it was fine to make fun of everyone so long as you didn't cross the line. It's one of those things where my rule for making fun of people is you do it good-naturedly. Like yes, orcs. Let's stick with orcs because orcs are making fun of a British poor person stereotype essentially. Um, but I really like orcs, and orcs are like some of my favorite characters, and they're just sort of naturally funny. But I don't. But it's not like mean spirited. I'm not just trying to tear down a group of people. Um, and that's kind of where I think the line should be for making jokes about different cultural groups. It's like if you're just making fun of them and it's like that's it. It's the joke is, yeah, this group of people's like this way, ha ha ha. Like that's not funny. Um, but what's funnier is like when you just sort of point out how the cultures come into conflict with each other and like point out the humor in funny situations that come out because we people have different cultures. Um, Instead of like pretending that everyone has the same culture and there are no conflicts or funny things that happen because of it. Um, I mean, I am going to observe um, the current rules and regulations of who you make fun of and how. Because everything needs to cool off a little bit before. Female orcs be not orc enough to be up for teeth. True, no malice, no harm. I mean, orcs can make themselves rich if they punch a bunch of other boys. Yep. Remember Pakistani Dalek sketch? I haven't seen it. 40k orcs are great. I love them even though I am working class Englishman. I mean, they're great. Like they have like the coolest vehicles. They're just I love orcs. Orcs are just great. The culture humor thing, I love the Adeptus Mechanicus. What do you mean? Like that just the religious hocus pocus of everything is funny? Um, is that kind of what you mean? I think I'm probably going to wrap it up. I've been going on for a long time. I do appreciate hanging out with you guys, and I hope you guys enjoy the stream. I'm going to keep going probably until the half hour, I think. So I do appreciate you guys. I think this was a successful stream. Um, and it was kind of nice to just hang out and talk and not be trying to do a big character thing this time. I kind of needed a break. Of course, doing a 3.5 hour stream is kind of an kind of an odd thing to do for a break. Um, it's cool and gang by me. I find it weird the Adeptus Mechanicus now have the kind of 50s aesthetic to them. How so? Like, what do you mean? Like the industrial sort of thing, or in what way are they like 50s? Because I kind of thought most of the aesthetic of the Mechanicus and the Imperium in general is 1930s, 1940s industrial combined with like Gothic cathedrals and stuff. Oh, because they have like the Space Invader look. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I know what you're talking about now. Yeah, because they kind of have a 50s sci-fi. Some of like when you're doing the specifically AdMech stuff, like the stuff they have, the units they have that are specific to AdMech. Yeah, they have a bit of a Space Invaders sort of thing going on. I'll look. I'm gonna look at their tank in a second. You want me to hit the 4 hour mark? Oh, what do you guys? You guys want to go to the end of the hour? Um, Probably not. I don't think I'm going to go beyond the hour, just because I do have some other stuff I need to do. My dogs will eventually get antsy, and they need to go out again. They're looking at me very very sadly because they know. Um, I'm sort of okay with the AdMech being kind of 50s 60s sci-fi. That's kind of okay. I have a dog by the name of Crowley. Hey, Crowley, you want to come here? Hi. Hi. You want to touch? Come here. Hey, you want to come over here? Can you stick your head in the? Can you stick your head in the thing? No, he's not doing it. He's not going where I want him to. He's kind of tired. I'm going to leave him go. But Crowley, and then there's Punch. Um, Crowley is super sweet, and he's really smart. Punch is very sweet, and he's smart, but he's also an idiot. Love him very much. Weird thing, that guy says, right, who wrote Enjoyable Dark Eldar. That's true. That's true. Well, that was almost my challenge. That goes back to my concept of there's no such thing as a bad concept. There's only bad execution. In the last Church on Terra, the Emperor established that science and religion is anathema to one another. Are these Martians combined to gangrenous union that actually works? Already been a longer stream than usual. There's a fine and so here's a fine point to end it. Yeah, I think I might wrap it up when I get to the half hour. Well, I very much disagree with the Emperor's view on religion and science. I'm actually a fairly, without getting into religious or politics stuff, I am a fairly religious person, and I think that religion, if you're doing it right, is answering questions that are not the things that science is answering. Science can tell you how much something is, how much it weighs, how fast it's going, the behavior of the particles in that object. There's all sorts of things science can tell you, but science cannot tell you like how you should like live your life or what's going to make you happy or how to how to develop principles to live by. And while you don't need to be a religious person to be a virtuous person, that's kind of the thing that I think is best about religion, is that it's kind of a cultural, it's a big important part of culture, and it's also a big important part of like just a place where societal values created and like described. So 2 orc gargants. It also brings the community together, or an empire. Yes. Yet science cannot philosophy. No, science can't do philosophy. As somebody who has studied both some science and philosophy, nah, you're asking different questions. The last church, I imagine the emperor was wearing a fedora while he was owning the last priest with facts and logic. It seemed out of character and more of an author insert. Science explain how, religion explains why. Yeah, religion and philosophy explore like why. They're just different questions. And the emperor was probably motivated to discourage religion, because I think they're saying now that his plan is to like weaken chaos. Like he knows that the gods are real, and he knows the effect that religious fervor has. He's just trying to cut off stuff that feeds the warp, is sort of what I got. Revelation is kind of a it's kind of a D. Oh, who is Revelation? I remember that. What is that? It was Revelation. Is that one of the weird? I'm forgetting what Revelation was. Evolutionary psychology can explain why we are. Can explain why we are why we are. Yeah, but it's the big thing that science wants to do is make everything a cause and effect. And one of the things that psychology has found out is like there's such a big part of the way people are their own decisions, and we don't know where the heck that comes from. Scientists tend to want to make a beeline from cause to effect when it comes to human psychology, and so much of your psychological makeup is based on your own choices and your own choosing to perceive things that way. In cognitive behavioral therapy, basically the big thing that you do in order to change to kind of treat psychological ailments is literally think differently and do things differently. And change the way you feel about things, like consciously changing and thinking about things differently. And that's how you like get better. And that's like a very hard thing for science to pin down how that works and where kind of human free will comes from and how that fits in everything. Like the behind the scenes vibe you got here, plan on scheduling streams like this. Yeah. Oh, holy cow, it's Dennis again. Dennis, you're overwhelming me with your generosity, man. Come for the storytelling, but stay for the knowledge. Have you heard of determinism, the absence of free will? That is what I believe. I absolutely disagree. I've worked at a drug and alcohol rehab center, and I have seen people get better who I did not think were going to get better, and I've seen people who did not have very many obstacles in their way fail to get better, and it was just because they decided they were either going to get better or not get better. Not dismissing like the challenges that come with overcoming addiction. It's a monumental undertaking, but I've seen people do amazing things out of sheer because they decided to do that. I have created this YouTube channel because I decided I was going to do it, and I was going to work through anything that was an obstacle to me. I could have not done this. There's no evolutionary consequential fatalism that led me to start a YouTube channel. I decided I was going to do it. Why did they decide to get better? Something went off in their heads that it's a couple of things. People decided they wanted to get better. Some people don't want to get better; they just want to go back to what they were doing. But it's usually the concept is hitting rock bottom in rehab stuff. Is you basically hit a point where things are so bad that you can't accept that you can't accept this anymore. I can't live this way anymore. So then they usually, like a light bulb kind of goes on, and they decide to start taking things seriously. And then it's a long, hard road with a lot of difficult hurdles for them to get over. But I've seen someone go from, doing PCP and headbutting cops to, being the manager of a sandwich shop. Hey, don't push that. Like, you can get better. People vastly underestimate their own abilities, their own potential all the time. I am petting the doggo. And Dennis is just gonna single-handedly like fund my life. Thanks a lot, Dennis. I very much appreciate it. All right, I think that's a pretty good place to end on. Dogs are getting antsy, and I've waxed poetical on life, the universe, and everything. So, you guys have a good one. Be safe, and I hope to. And I'll be here again on Monday with more Og Day, and I'll be streaming again on Friday, and I'll figure out what the heck I want to do for then. All right, so long. It was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun. All right, guys. Bye.